tonight. I wanna see it. I wanna see it. Roll it, sing some.
Used to be a time when you were company. I used to brag about it all the time.
Who wrote that?
Now it seems so dancing beyond always on my couch. And one of them, I think we started to
Hurt, can you sing?
What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah.
Who wrote that?
What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah.
Make it take me. If it feel good. If it feel good. If it feel good. If it feel good. Tony! Silver,
Right and what?
silver,
Right and what?
silver,
Right and what?
silver.
Right and what?
Tokyo! Party night, all right. You say party night, wait a minute. There's a limo here. Party night, oh yeah, party night, wait a minute. Now you know, gather round, everybody have a little kick in town. Thank you. Good night.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Funkotopia Live pre-show. I hope all of you guys are doing fantastically well. Hello, I am your host, Mr. Christopher. Jeff Page out again this week. Busy man, what are you going to do? Listen, man. So tonight, this is the pre-show. We don't actually start the live show until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is kind of where we talk a little bit about news and whatnot, and then we kind of get into the main show. They still, even though they said they were going to release the lineup on the 26th, here it is almost 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we still do not have the lineup, but that's okay. It's perfectly okay. We got plenty to talk about, but first we're going to break through the news real quick, and then we'll go into the actual show. And if we don't have a lineup right there at the beginning, trust me, we're going to break into some of the estate chat that I said I was going to talk about, and then I decided not to talk about it. And I'm just like, I think something needs to be said, so we'll probably talk about it anyway. So let's go into it, folks, shall we? Let's go ahead and say hello to a bunch of fine folks that are in here. Susan, what's going on? Vas Christian in the house. I know Vas Christian was debating, do I watch? Do I go to sleep? I got it. Dance with Faith. Tanya, what's going on? Ariate, I always mess up your name. It's New Zealand. I don't even know what time it is, New Zealand right now. On, how are you? Cami, how are you? Tanya, who wrote that? That's good. Yeah, Prince said it a couple times. Who wrote that? Well, it always makes you second guess. I wonder if Prince secretly ghost wrote some of these songs. Yeah. Anyways, Aaron, what's going on? Aaron in the house. Blah 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 blah. Obviously, I'm expecting all of you guys to kind of keep an eye out for me for the lineup announcement when it drops, and then once it does, we'll stop what we're doing immediately and we'll go right into it, and we'll just make sure that we start talking into it. But again, we got some news to cover before we break into the actual show, and then it is what it is. Welcome to Funkotopia WTF. Yes, we still have some of these amazing mugs in stock. Welcome to Funkotopia. Actually, they're not made, but we do have them in stock. They're actually made. And man, they hold water good. All right. So being said, Arlene, what's going on? Donna, what's going on? Christina, what's going on? Kim, Samantha. Yeah. Samantha says, are you sure they'll actually announce anything today? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know, but that's okay. We're still gonna do all this, and if I missed you, that's all good. We got some news to get through, so I can't call out everybody's name, but that's good. We're fine. We're just gonna keep on moving forward and doing our thing. Let's talk about some news, shall we? Before the 8 o'clock hour, I got 10 minutes to make it through some of this stuff, but The first thing is I want to give a huge shout out. It was literally just 4 days ago that I announced that we had crossed 44,000 followers on Facebook. And it wasn't even a few days later that now we have actually crossed 45,000 followers on Facebook. And I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are amazing. And I don't even know where to even start or show my gratitude, because you guys are just, pretty fantastic. And I can't thank you enough. That is a lot of folks. And, again, I can't, there's no words for it. 45,000. That's a lot of friggin' people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot. All right, let's go on to the next bit of news. A little bit of sad news to share. Obviously, rest in peace to the great actor, performer, and human rights activist Harry Belafonte, who passed away, I believe it was yesterday. He was just such an iconic figure outside of the Banana Boat song. He was just such one of these guys that was just so full of energy. And when he walked into the room, he just like demanded, your attention. He was just one of those guys. And when Prince passed, actually, I think CNN had actually gotten Harry on the phone, and Harry was just beside himself. He was very, very upset that Prince had passed away. And he had some incredible things to say about Prince. And he actually spoke a little bit about when he met with Prince, and that the two of them were just equally enamored with each other. It was just, he was just completely in awe of Prince, and Prince was completely in awe of him. So they had a lot of really nice things to say about each other. And it was very, very cool that they got the time to really kind of honor and appreciate each other in person before either one of them transitioned. So it's very, very cool. Now, the next thing I can tell you, as far as the next little piece of news is concerned, Christina says, yes, we've lost so many great performers. Back in, gosh, I don't even remember. Maybe one of you guys can help me with the date of this, but they took a 1-block section of downtown Minneapolis in front of First Avenue, and they renamed it after Prince. It was just this 1-block thing. And I'm not even really sure how permanent it was. It was just this 1-block thing. But luckily, this is really, really cool news. And I think I think most people have already heard about this already, but that was a 1-block scenario. This is a whole different ball game. There is now, I know this says proposed Prince Highway on it. For those who are actually watching the video, it says proposed Prince Highway, but it is a 7-foot section. Notice 7-foot section of Highway 5 that is going to be renamed Prince Rogers Nelson Memorial Highway. And when the bill went to the House, it passed unanimously 121-0. Nobody voted against it, which is really good, because I'm gonna say it. I feel a little bit surprised that nobody was just like, no, my grandfather grew up on that highway. My great grandfather raised cows on that highway. I don't need to be changing it. And it just seems surprising to me that there was not one single person in that whole entire house, the Minnesota House, that was like, nah. But kudos to them, 121-0 to rename that 7-mile stretch of Highway 5 after Prince. And again, it's going to be renamed Prince Rogers Nelson Memorial Highway, which is very, very cool. And that's actually, well, you can't really see the sign. The sign's actually, Vast Christian said it looks longer than 7 foot. Did I say 7 foot? 7 mile, 7 miles. If I said 7 foot, it's been one of those days. So you have to just forgive me on that. And then the last bit of news that I have, which is great because I managed to make it through all this news in 5 minutes, which is fantastic, is obviously that you hear me talk quite a bit about Mrs. Wellington's Warehouse. Mrs. Wellington's Warehouse is this really, really cool auction house that it's a Facebook group. You can actually get to it. It's a private group, but you can get to it by going to funkotopia.com/Ben, Ben. And it's run by Ben Petrick. And it's an auction house that has a bunch of really cool Prince memorabilia and whatnot that they actually have in place. And they are actually doing a very, very cool charity auction right now with this little setup that you see here, which is an extra large, original extra large t-shirt from Jam of the Year tour, an I Hate You Gold Experience promo pin, and an unopened, still sealed 12-inch Most Beautiful Girl in the World vinyl. And I guess they're just auctioning it off. And 100% of the proceeds will go to Maite's rescue. And Maite Garcia is well aware that this is going on, Chip. And so it's a very, very cool little package here that you can bid on. I don't know what the bidding is at now currently, but you can go to Mrs. Wellington's Warehouse and ask to become a member. You can't just freely become a member. I think you have to answer a couple of questions or whatever, but it is a very cool auction house that does a bunch of memorabilia from across Prince's career. And it's pretty awesome. And you can get all kinds of really, and it's a very, very fair priced auction. Matter of fact, if you have items to sell, you can actually go to Mrs. Wellington's Warehouse. Again, the quickest way to get to it is going to funkotopia.com/Ben, Ben. That's the quickest way to get to it. That will automatically forward you over to it. But if you have merchandise to sell, you can send it to him and he will actually make videos for it. He will actually present it for you and he will sell it for you. And his selling fee, his fee is only I think it's 10%, 10%, which is insane. He's doing all the work. He's putting up, he's making the videos, he's doing the auctioning, he's running everything. He's all that stuff. So something to think about. But for right now, the reason why I want to bring it up was because this is really neat charity auction that they're doing for Maite's rescue. That's got the Gem of the Year shirt. That's XL, the I Hate You promo pin, and the unopened, still sealed, original Most Beautiful Girl in the World vinyl. So definitely check it out. It's very cool. You have to check those things out. I am curious. I'm assuming that, because I haven't gotten any type of alerts or anything like that, Paisley Park still has not released that lineup. That's fine. It's all good. I've been kind of refreshing their various places and whatever, just trying to keep an eye on things. But I did see that they put up a little video clip of Napalm and from Hiatus Coyote. And if you've never heard of Hiatus Coyote, just do yourself a favor. I'm trying to think of like a good entry song if you guys have never heard Hiatus Coyote. Maybe try Breathing Underwater. Look for that song, Breathing Underwater, Hiatus Coyote, and just check that out. That's a pretty good entry point song. I think that was an entry point song for a lot of people, but Prince loved Hiatus Coyote, and he had mentioned that this particular song that she's performing, I can't remember the name of it right at the top of my head, but this particular song that she's performing in the studio at Paisley Park, that was his favorite song by Hiatus Coyote. So it's her, Napalm, playing guitar with her background vocalist. So it's kind of like a slimmed down version. And that is on their Instagram, on Paisley Park's Instagram page, instagram.com/official Paisley Park. And you should check out that video. It's very cool. Especially if you're a Hiatus Coyote fan, because you've probably never heard. It is what it is. I am curious how many people here that are in the chat room right now are actually going to go to the celebration. So here's my question, because I guess we got 1 minute, but I just kind of wanted to see, who was out here. Are you going to the celebration? Have you already bought your tickets, or are you waiting for this lineup announcement before you make any final decisions? Are you still on the fence because it's a monetary thing? Are you going VIP? Which VIP, Diamond or Pearl? Are you going general admission? Which one, Diamond or Pearl? So kind of give me a little bit of that information and let me know, because I'm curious as to how many folks that are listening, because they want the lineup. I want the lineup. I don't even know what it is. I've heard some rumors, but I'm not even going to do that. I'm not going to start the night with rumors and conjectures before we even get into the actual show. I'm not even going to do that. Just not going to do it. It's too much. So here's what we're going to do. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water because I'm going to be talking all night. Hopefully I have enough water. We're going to start here because it's 8 p.m. on the dot right now. So as you know, this is our new thing. We start the pre-show with a little video clip of sorts, just a random video clip. And then we do the pre-show, give you the news. And then I break away for like 10 seconds. And then we start into the actual show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and just go right into it. So if I come back on here and the lineup still has not been released, then what we will do is we're going to talk a little bit about some of this craziness that's going on the estate side of things right now. Try to do it from a very safe distance. I'll explain all that. But it's just, I don't know. All right, we'll talk about it. Give me just a second. Let's break away, and we're going to go into the actual show right now. Give me about, I don't know, 5 seconds of silence, and we'll go right into it. Hold on just 1 second. What's up, everybody? WTF? Welcome to Funkotopia. I am your host, Mr. Christopher, again doing a solo show this evening. I hope everybody is doing phenomenally well. We had a couple of things to talk about this morning, or this evening, more or less. I guess it depends on where you are. And one of the things, obviously, was the announcement of the celebration lineup, which has not hit yet. We are still waiting for it to hit, but that's okay. We're going to talk about plenty of things, and I'm going to have, even if we don't, okay, the lineup hasn't been announced yet. It's essentially where we're at. And they said that we're going to release it today. It is now 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we still have not seen it. And I am, I did ask before the pre-show, or right as we were leaving the pre-show, I did ask everybody if they were doing if they were going to the celebration. Are you going VIP? Are you going general admission? Are you going diamond? Are you going pearl? Lots of really, really cool responses. I know a lot of people. I probably was one of those rare people that went ahead and bought VIP, even though I had no idea what was coming up, which is, that could be questionable financial I don't know. Luckily I'm not alone. I know a lot of people that did the exact same thing I did. They were just like, well, I'm going to have fun. It'll be great. Anyways, whatever. We'll just, it's all good. But anyways, we did a little bit of news and whatnot before in the pre-show, but I will recant some of it for the actual show because that pre-show will be cut off on this. But congratulations that there is a 7-mile stretch of Highway 5 that runs in front of Paisley Park that is going to be renamed Prince Roger Nelson Memorial Highway, which is very, very awesome. So congratulations with that. It passed the Minnesota House unanimously, 121-0. So that's going to be very, very cool. Rest in peace to Harry Belafonte. It was a great performer, activist, dancer. He was just a phenomenal individual and loved Prince dearly, and vice versa as well. And of course, thank you again to all of you fabulous supporters, especially on Facebook, where we just managed to cross 45,000 followers, which is just ridiculous. That's out of control. That's definitely out of control. And there's so many things that are going on celebration wise, and we're going to get to talk about, but a lot of people want to know exactly what this lineup is, where it's, who's going to be on it. And just like you find folks, we are still in the dark. We are still waiting for them to release the lineup. So guess what? We're going to go to the other topic. I don't, man, I don't exactly know how to go into this topic because I kind of feel like we are in a spot where we're kind of making a lot of noise and a lot of let me just go into it. Forget it. I'm trying to play it safe, but the reality of it is that there's no safe way to do this. So listen, I try to stay out of this as much as possible. And, now what's being dragged out is in public regarding the estate and who does what. Got very, very vicious between Sharon Nelson, Londell McMillan, and also Charles Spicer on Twitter, of all places, which was just a little bit unusual. I had mentioned in some shows, there are some elements that I was aware of that I was, that I had heard. And you try to keep things on the download, but lots of people were chastising me again on Twitter. Twitter's such a volatile place. It really is. I just don't feel like some things are everybody's business to divulge. I guess it's way above my pay grade, really, to be totally honest. So I just started ghosting people who were kind of poking at me a little bit, but apparently not everybody feels that way because there is one particular podcaster. She kind of makes videos every now and then. And one, Vanessa Bartholomew, obviously I imagine she got her name from the late Kirstie Alley's character from the Love Symbol Sessions, the videos that you saw, where she was playing the reporter. And of course, she's also in the throughout the CD as well. I don't think that's her actual name, but I've asked around and nobody knows what her actual name is. If it just happens to be Vanessa Bartholomew, that's pretty cool. But anyways, she took it upon herself to divulge a bunch of info regarding the contracts that exist between Sharon L. Nelson, Londell McMillan, and Charles Spicer and Primary Wave. Now, that information is out there and available through the courthouse documents. Anyone can kind of go there, request it, view it. But, who really wants to kind of dig through tons of records? I mean, no one that I can think of really wants to spend the time. All right, I'm going to get to the bottom of this because I really care. We do care, but you got to care a lot to go through that process. You really do. And I can't think of anybody in my circle of friends that's like, yeah, I'm doing it. Except for Vanessa via her YouTube channel, which I'm giving all credit to Vanessa on this one because she kind of just kicked it out there really like hard. You can see the videos that she posted. She's got 2 of them out here. We'll talk about this in a second. But if you go to YouTube, don't do it right now. Just make a note of it and you can watch it later because we're going to talk about some of the stuff. It's youtube.com/the peace, love, N, the letter N, Prince 319. So it's, if you're drinking right now, just go ahead and write it down because youtube.com/the peace, love, N, Prince 319. So peace, love, and Prince 319. And I don't want to recant everything that is in these videos. You can watch for yourself, as I said. But the fun started when Vanessa shared this little video, and I'm going to pull it up here. Jasmine says, we do care, Chris. I know you do. I know you do. We all care. We all care. But to go to some of the lengths that you kind of go to kind of work through some of this and try to figure out, who's telling the truth, who's doing what, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But she released this video here that I'm not going to play the video. I did a little screen capture of the actual video itself. It says, let me tell you who's running Prince's estate, followed by 3 exclamation points. And it is I guess, I don't know. She kind of puts it all out there. In the video, she kind of, she proceeds to explain that while there are multiple people involved, it's essentially Londell McMillan and Charles Spicer who are managing things. And the other folks involved are essentially Sharon and Noreen Nelson and Primary Wave. I think we all kind of knew that a little bit. And the reason why Londell and Charles were brought on and put in the position that they were put into was due to a contract that Sharon had signed, bringing them on board to help. This is not me saying this. This is in the video, but wait, there's more. And that part of it was the part that people weren't really aware of. That Sharon reached out to Londell and Charles and said, I need your help with this. I really don't know much about Sharon's personal life and what she's done professionally, or what she's, some of her accomplishments and what she can and cannot do. But I imagine being put in front at the head of a multi-million-dollar company in an industry that, has got a lot of twists and turns, probably was outside of her scope. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't, but she kind of, anyways, she brought Londell and Charles on to kind of help her spearhead some of that stuff. And I wasn't clear why Vanessa put that out there during the explanation, but she did anyways. But I think what was even more surprising was that Sharon then linked to the video and, she then linked to the video right here. Sorry, I clicked it when the extra said, let me tell you who's running the Prince Estate. And she linked to the video, which was almost like, that might as well have been full confirmation that what Vanessa was saying in the video was true. I mean, at least from Sharon's perspective. Certainly she watched the video. She saw everything in the video. She heard everything that Vanessa was saying in the video. If there was any part of it that probably was not true, I would assume that, I would certainly assume that Sharon wouldn't have linked to it. She was like, you should watch this video, but in regards to this little piece, no, don't pay attention to this little piece here, because this part's not true, or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, she linked to it. And she retweeted it. That's like confirmation going, yeah, I like this. It's like the equivalent of a thumbs up. It's just kind of how it is. Anyways. And Vanessa divulged in the video, like I said, that Sharon had brought Londell and Charles into the mix. And that was the only part that was just like, okay, I don't know that anybody really kind of knew that. But then, of course, Sharon confirmed it with another tweet where she said, public service announcement. Unfortunately, I take full responsibility for bringing Londell McMillan and Charles Spicer in to assist me in settling the estate. However, I did not give them the right to take over my family's name or my brother's legacy. Hashtag RIP Prince. Okay. So most of everything in the video at that point is pretty much confirmed. That's kind of how you get there. But then, of course, at that point, Londell and Charles, when you've got this video that's kind of making pretty bold statements, nothing that's apparently untrue. I haven't rewatched the videos to listen for any type of commentary outside of the revealing of factual information. I think you guys know what I'm getting at. It's like, you can reveal factual information. There's no recourse of action that anybody can take against you, because you're just displaying the facts. You're telling them exactly what's going on and exactly what's happening. And then what happens at that point in time on the commentary side of things, is that if you then start taking swipes at the individuals that you're talking about, then you start treading on a little bit different of a territory. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where it is. But anyways, at that point, Londell and Charles, they can't just kind of sit quietly in the background and just not say anything. So they started chiming in. Charles tweeted, the Prince Estate is run by Prince Legacy LLC, which includes Sharon, Noreen, John's children, and Primary Wave. It is not a dictatorship that allows one member to make decisions just because she thinks she is entitled to do so and wants to disregard everyone else. Hashtag truth matters. Wow. So all this stuff is unraveling on Twitter in front of everybody. And it kind of causes a little bit of a difficult, now people are feeling some sort of way. It's one thing where you got this video and there's a retweet, but now there's a dialogue that's happening between all the parties involved publicly on Twitter. it's it's out there in it's out there. It's out there hard. And of course, when Sharon saw this tweet from Charles, she replied and she said, at Charles Spicer, deception is excluding yourself and Londell McMillan, but thank you for including us heirs. Also, deception is trying to include Primary Wave, in parentheses, Oat Holdings, and Prince Legacy LLC, as they are their own separate entity. Hashtag truth matters. Okay. And anyways, all this being said, all this was going on for like a minute, quite a bit online, back and forth. And I don't want to get, even though I kind of went a little bit into the details, I don't want to get all into the details, but Vanessa definitely opened up a major can of worms here. Not that information wasn't out there, but I think that, you know, some of this stuff was kind of being dealt with in the background, and, you know, there was, and maybe Sharon felt like she had kind of made a mistake bringing them on, and she didn't want to kind of publicly put herself out there and say, I'm responsible for what just happened. And now it's all out here. And I don't know. It's the people, some of the people that are involved, the parties that are involved are lawyers. They're lawyers. They're lawyers. And so you got to be real careful. Vanessa is doing some brave here. She really is. She's, got to have some appreciation for what she's doing. But, you know, kind of bring it out into the light, because I think a lot of people were asking the question on Twitter, who's running things over there? Who's doing what? Well, you kind of get a little bit of, of insight when you have somebody like Vanessa that gets all those pieces and puts them all together in a video and kind of presents it to you in a little bit easier way to digest. But the other thing, as I mentioned, even if she is speaking the truth, you add in any type of commentary here, like I mentioned, and you can set yourself up to get tied into a lawsuit relatively quickly. I mean, baseless or not, when you're dealing with these big time lawyers like this, you can get tied up in a case that can marinate you in attorney's fees for a couple of years if they feel like there's defamation here or whatever. That boost in viewership may not be worth it, but maybe people needed to see the truth. People needed to see kind of what was out there. I mean, that is poking a bear, swatting at a bee's nest. I mean, it's really kind of a fine line, but that's not all, because then Vanessa doubled down. I actually did. There was one more tweet from Londell, where Londell adds in lies and BS. Shameful how people lie and scandalize others' names. These comments are false. Stop disrespecting people and Prince with lies and evil. Have my own fortune. Peace. Essentially saying, I don't need this money. So, you know, you're making me look like the bad guy here. And anyways, all right. So that all being said, Vanessa doubled down with the release of another video, a second video. That was titled, Why Are They Still Involved and Making Decisions? And again, you can watch these videos for yourself. It's youtube.com/peace. What was it again? I got to look it up now because it's not an easy one to remember. Oh, youtube.com/peace love N, the letter N, Prince 319. So youtube.com/peace love in Prince 319. So anyways, so she's doubling down now with this second video, which kind of even brings some more clarification. So people want to know, why are they still involved in making decisions? But in this video, Vanessa showed a piece of the contract that showed the signatures on the contract and denoted a little something that maybe some people missed. And that was this right here. For those who are online, who are like visual, or if you're listening on the Funked Up app and you don't have the visuals, I'll kind of break it down for you. It is the contract part of it where it's signed and each member signs it. And where Sharon signed, it said her title is member. Where Noreen signed, the title says member. But under Londell's and under Charles, it says managing member. All right. So Sharon and Noreen are listed as members, but Londell and Charles are listed as managing members. So what exactly does a managing member do that a regular member doesn't? Well, according to this is a clip from Vanessa's video. An LLC managing member is someone who both owns the LLC as well as runs the day-to-day operations, makes business decisions, and has the authority to bind the LLC into contracts and agreements. In short, a managing member is both a member and a manager. There you go. That is pretty flat out. So going back to that contract thing, you want to see how this is kind of laid out. It is essentially, you got 50% of it that's owned by a bunch of folks that really don't kind of have their hands tied a little bit. And then you have another 50% where their hands aren't tied. There's a couple members like Londell and Charles that actually are running the day-to-day operations. And then of course you have Primary Wave, who has not said a thing during all of this. I think they are way too big and have way too much at stake to say anything in this whole mix. But what was interesting about this video is that as part of what Vanessa showed, the video also showcased, I'm not going to play these clips here because I don't want to get too far into this. And I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure that I'm not saying anything that's like insanely negative or crazy or whatever. But the video showcased a couple of clips of Londell making an appearance on the Breakfast Club. And he was speaking about how he was the one who spearheaded Prince getting out of his previous contract. And then, kind of in a roundabout way, simply saying that in almost all of these types of cases where you're talking about where there's heirs involved and everything else, this is Michael Jackson, because he was also worked with Michael Jackson as well. Michael Jackson is a little bit more cut and dry because of the fact that he actually had kids. And so there was obvious heirs in this mix. I mean, as far as they were pretty young at the time. So what kind of control or whatever that they had, who knows? I mean, it's a whole different thing. It's apples and oranges. But anyways, he said in most of these types of cases that family members simply, I can't remember his exact words, but it was something along the lines of they kind of get in the way of doing business because they have certain expectations and those expectations don't match up with reality. So of course, some more back and forth ensued, and then people began piling on Londell because he had been the most vocal out of all this. And this was one of the, here, I'm going to show a tweet that I guess somebody had reached out to him. Let me pull up this tweet that just came. The tweet was from a Mr. _Young, where he was saying to Londell, well, why don't you enlighten us? Tell us about the mess. Tell us what the plans are. Stop trash talking on Twitter and start telling us what has been going on. This isn't difficult. Let's be grown-ups. And then he tagged Londell. And then Londell responded, come to Prince Celebration 2023 and find out. I will bring the NDA. Okay, so apparently Londell will be present at the celebration. For those of you just tuning in, we are going to unveil the celebration lineup as soon as we are given the celebration lineup. We are still waiting for them to divulge the lineup here. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for them to reveal the lineup, we kind of went into this little area of discussion and whatnot. So we'll just see. So he's not hiding. Matter of fact, Nick had texted me. I guess he was at the celebration. I mean, not celebration, at the event that was at Paisley Park on the 21st, and said that Londell was there shaking hands and being very, very present and very out there. So he is not hiding. He is very, very visible to everyone, and he is there. I don't know exactly what you kind of go from. Let me try to see. There was something else I wanted to show you guys before. There was a section of the contract that Vanessa pulled up that she screen captured that pretty much sums it all up. This is kind of like the piece de resistance. If all those little tidbits weren't enough, this is the piece de resistance that Vanessa put out there. Am I saying that right for any French folks out there? That kind of is as clear as it possibly can be. Here it is. And for those listening on the Funked Up app, I will read it to you. It says, as affirmed by all court-recognized heirs or assignees of court-recognized heirs, Prince Legacy LLC now holds 50% of the expectancy interest in the estate, consisting of all expectancy interest previously held by Sharon Nelson, Noreen Nelson, John Nelson, the John Nelson Revocable Trust, L. Londell McMillan, and Charles Spicer. And Prince Oat Holdings LLC now holds 50% of the expectancy interest in the estate, consisting of all expectancy interests previously held by Tyka Nelson, Omar Baker, Alfred Jackson, who, if you don't know, that's where Oat came from, was Omar, Alfred, and Tyka. Primary Wave Music LP Fund, LP, Primary Wave Music LP Fund 3, LP, and Primary Wave Music Prince Co-Invest LP. So there you have it. You have 50% that is owned by Sharon, Noreen, John, the John Nelson Revocable Trust, Londell, and Charles Spicer. That 50%, but the way that the contract is worded, Londell and Charles are the ones that are the managing members. They are the ones that are responsible for the day-to-day operations, according to this contract, according to the pieces of the contract that we've seen. I have not reviewed the whole entire contract, but this is the part that's here. And the other 50% is essentially Primary Wave, which used to contain all the little pieces that Tyka, Omar, and Alfred and all them had. And so it's a split 50-50 right down the middle here. This is what happened. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys marinate on that just for a second, because that is what we're looking at here. That is this. And I apologize right out of the gate if you guys came to find out what the lineup is. We're all waiting. Just so you know, we're all waiting. It's all good. But I'm going to take this down though, because I know it kind of it's a lot. But wow. If you want to see any of this, we can back up for a second and talk about all this. I'm trying to watch some of the chat that's going on here. There's not a whole bunch of dialogue that we can spin off of here, but I do want to say, all this information that I share tonight regarding the parties has been out there. It's out there. It's public record. You can get it. If you ever, next time you're in Minneapolis, you can go to the courthouse. Was it Carver County? I think it was the courthouse, and you can go and you can get all this stuff. If you want to watch the videos and see what Vanessa has painstakingly pulled together and put into these little digestible videos, there's the last two videos that you posted. Again, go to youtube.com/the peace, love, and Prince 319. That's the letter N, peace, love, and Prince 319. So youtube.com/the which is unusual to be in a URL, but it's in there. Peace, love, and Prince 319. Check it out. But let me tell you something, kudos to her for doing all this, but it's like walking over hot coals with gasoline shoes, swimming in shark infested waters with the tuna suit. I don't know. It's too much. We will see how it all pans out. We will see how it all pans out. And I can see, thank you very much for joining. Vanessa Bartholomew is right here. She is right here in the mix. So if you guys would like to address her, she is right here in the chat room, and I'm sure that she would probably answer some of these questions. I don't want this to get too derailed, but Vanessa, kudos to you for doing all this. But man, it's a lot to take in. Now, let me put this in perspective here. People are upset, and they want his heirs to be the only one having control over the music. I think we can collectively say that somebody who has Prince's blood running through their veins in some form or fashion should be the one that is keeping things together, and kind of managing things and making sure that Prince's legacy remains intact. I don't think there is no discussion in that regard at all. because it's not just the music, it's the IP, the intellectual property. I always feel like I got to over explain things because sometimes people, like, you know, maybe saying to themselves, what's IP? IP address. I think I have one of those on my computer. No, IP stands for intellectual property. It's the licensing, it's the merchandising, etc. But hold on a second. Let me cough for a second. Sorry, a little cough button here. I don't know if that worked or not. Let's talk just for a second here. Because, you know, we all have expectations and we all have specific desires that we want to see for Prince's music and everything else. What do you really want? What do you, the fans, really want? I mean, you want great merchandise. We all want great merchandise. You want the music. You want his legacy to be forever protected. I get that. That's fair. But sometimes you just don't want to see how the sausage is made. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Just kind of ask yourself that if everyone was getting what they asked for, would you even care who was running the show? I'm not saying that it's right for, we're trying to have a grown folk discussion here. This is what's happening right now. We're having a grown folk discussion. Yes, I believe that if you're asking me my personal opinion, absolutely 100% yes. I believe that Sharon and Noreen and anybody that has the last name of Nelson needs to be part of this mix, needs to be part of the managing members. No doubt in my mind. That's not even a question. It's like, if they are part of that 50%, then that 50%, if they're part of that 50%, then that 50% needs to have managing control. If you are a fan and you're calling me on my cell, just leave a message because I don't know who that is. If you're from a 201 area code, but someone, regardless of who it is going to make a lot of money off of whatever this is, whoever's going to be controlling it here. And it won't be you and it won't be me. We'll be giving money because let's look back when Prince reluctantly put out The Vault to kind of meet contractual obligations, which I might add he had begrudgingly done on with other releases too. None of us said, man, I don't like that he's not happy about this release. I'm not going to buy that, or I refuse to listen to this new album of Prince just based on principle. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to, I don't think Prince was happy with it. I can think of a couple of people who are probably going to say out loud, well, I didn't buy it, whatever. I know who you are. But for a majority of folks, it's just not what it is. But you just saw that Londell and Charles are the managing members currently. And there's so many folks here that I'm reading this chat area here. There's so many folks here saying they're not happy about that at all. But let me ask you this. This is just a get real moment just for a second, because I want you guys to think this all the way through. You guys need to just think this stuff all the way through. If a brand new album drops tomorrow with 12 new unreleased tracks from Prince, would any of you tell me that you would not buy that album because of the fact that Londell and Charles are right now managing members? Just asking a real question. I'm asking a real question. I get it. There is a part of this that has to do with his legacy. It's not just a part of it. It's all of it. It all has to do with his legacy. We want to make sure that everything is locked down, but I just have to ask the question, because there seems to be a lot of vitriol and a lot of hate and a lot of anger and stuff going on, but I don't know what the fix is to this. I really honestly don't. We all know what we want out of this, and the reason why it's becoming a little bit more agitated and a little bit more explosive right now is because the fact that we're not getting what we wanted. as far as music is concerned. I'm speaking for the fans. We're not getting the music. Some of the merchandise has been questionable. I still love new merchandise, just so we're clear. There's been a lot of complaints. You guys know who's complaining. I don't typically go out and complain much because I know there's nothing I can do about it. But the piece I obviously don't like that was unveiled was Sharon saying that she was tricked into the way that it's set up now. I mean, I hate that. I'm not going to lie. That is a bitter, bitter pill to swallow, knowing that this just amazing lady was just kind of, well, she claimed she was kind of, tricked. It was just, and now that there is so much public scrutiny on it in its current state, not much is going to change. I mean, all of that trickery, if that's what it was kind of done in the shadows. There are spotlights on it now. I mean, let me ask you this. Could Londell and Charles revise the contract, leave all the other verbiage the same? Just leave all the other verbiage the same. Could Londell and Charles revise the contract and make them managing members also? Would that be a fix? Would that be a fix to say, you know what? You guys are right. Absolutely, positively, and I think all of us feel this way, that Sharon and Noreen should have some sort of say of what happens at the estate. They are heirs. There's no reason why they should not be managing members. So would that be a fix? It probably would be. I think it would appease a lot of people, and at least they would have a say. They would have a vote at what's going on. But I'm looking at this. It's what's going to happen here. Would that make everyone happy? And if that were to happen, would you then get everything you want? I think probably at best you get peace of mind, maybe, because if Sharon can prove that she was coerced somehow into signing this contract, maybe there's something there, but who knows? Here's another thing to think about. I know I'm putting a lot of thought things out here for you guys to kind of marinate on and whatnot, but here's another thing to think about. I have to say that at one point in time that I have wondered that if Prince did indeed have a will, which I know there are a bunch of folks that say he did have one and it disappeared. Somebody destroyed it or whatever. That's a topic for another show. A lot of that's just there, and that's who knows. Who would he have handed his music off to? That's a tough question. Who do you think he would have done? Who do you think he would have handed it off to? Who would have been the recipient of his music, his intellectual properties? I mean, even though I have met Prince a few times, I know lots of people that have met Prince. I know absolutely nothing about him personally, or the friendships and relationships that he had, or who he truly trusted. I know none of that. Absolutely none of that. So this little yarn that I'm about to spin is just totally off the top of my head. I mean, would Londell and Charles have been recipients of his music after he passed? Were they that close to him? I don't know him, but I'm going to guess no, because he wasn't really a big fan of, corporate side of things or whatever, advisors, lawyers and things like that. That wasn't really on his, these are a few of my favorite things. It's not that. I don't know all the details I honestly don't know all the details of what went down for him to get out of the previous contract that he had, or what level of involvement that Londell had in it, like he was claiming on the Breakfast Club. But even if Prince was greatly appreciative of what Londell had accomplished, if he truly was an integral part of that, I don't know. I don't remember all the details. I know there was a lot of people. Seems like there was a was it Dominique? There was some woman that I thought was the main part of that. I don't remember Londell's name being in it. Anyways, I still don't think that even that being the case, even Londell, if he was a major part of it, I still don't think that he would have been awarded Prince's music in his will or Charles. I just don't. If I'm honest, I would think, if I'm honest, I'm pretty sure his family would have been in the mix in some form or fashion, Sharon included. But, there's a few things here. I don't think that Prince foresaw that he would be at this point in his life, or that he would be further on in life and not have any children or not have a wife to inherit his life work. I just don't think that there was, like all of us, I'm sure he thought, I got at least another 20 years here and I'm going to accomplish a lot. And he may have been one of those. Right now, no joke. Right now, I am 54 years old. I'll be 55 in November, and I don't have a will. I don't. I know it's stupid. I've got a family. I've got a wife, but I know that even if I die right now, if I drop dead right now, everything is going to my wife and children. I know that. I know that. So there's some solace there, but there are some things that, I may want directed in certain places. But I just don't think that, I just think that Prince thought he had more time. Like we all did. We all thought he had way more time. I was mad that there was not those times where he just starts getting, less and less popular. And we get to see him in a really small club, sitting on a bar stool, playing an acoustic guitar, just chilling. And we're like, oh, I remember seeing him in the 80s. I'm mad that we didn't get all that stuff. I really am. I mean, but again, it's obvious that Sharon would have been in that mix if he had to sit down and write a will right now. I imagine maybe, I did write this down because I didn't want to make sure that I didn't miss this thought. I imagine that he may have made some decisions and considerations about, I don't know. Let's get a little bit nutty here just for a second. Let's say that he signs over the rights for the music that was made for the time over to all the members of the time. Morris, Jellybean, Terry, Jimmy Jam, Monty, Jesse, etc. What if everything that he wrote for other people, he just signed it over to them? What if they inherited the music that he wrote for them? I know that, the reason why that doesn't sound so crazy is because I know he did it for Tamar. Tamar, he wrote Milk and Honey, and he signed it over to her. And she even said as much on the show. So would it be such a far stretch that he would do it for the other artists that, were so, so involved in his life? Maybe Kirk Johnson's in there. I mean, you can say what you want about Kirk. I know he's really kind of divining rod for a lot of folks, but Kirk was a really, really close friend of Prince's. So maybe there's something there. And again, I mean, he did make the Revolution share 1 point of the Purple Rain soundtrack. 1 point, not 1 point each. They all had to share 1 point of Purple Rain. So maybe he's not that gracious, but again, if he has to sit down and write the will, who is it that inherits it? Because there's no, I imagine there would have been a bunch of surprises in there. Maybe he does, if he did write the will, maybe he does put it into a holding company and put someone charged that he's confident was going to properly oversee all the stuff and release the music in a way that's befitting. That would have been a far less upsetting thing than kind of what we're witnessing here unravel in the public eye. I mean, the folks that are in this mix are publicly fighting on Twitter, of all places, on Elon Musk Twitter, and just putting it all out there. Anyways, I just don't know. One thing I do know, and we already mentioned this, is that there's something else obviously going on because they're not paying attention to the fans. I mean, I think everybody on all the social media platforms have been very, very loud and obnoxious in a good way about, we want some music. Where is this music coming from? We were told after his passing that even if he passed away today, they would be able to release 2 albums a year for the next 100 years. Okay. We've heard the things about it being tied up because of the Netflix special, which I now heard that if the Netflix special drops, there's a big if, there's a new timeline floating around now of July 2023. Hearsay, rumor, conjecture. Again, anything I say, unless I can back it up, which comes from the official source, it's all hearsay, rumor, conjecture. I always say that. But July 2023 is what I'm hearing. So I would imagine that these promos for this have got to start airing before the celebration. Maybe that's what a big reveal will be, is that they'll do it on the celebration. At the celebration, they'll start showing promos for the Netflix special. Maybe that will be a big unveil. I don't know. That'd be cool. But the other thing too, though, even though we all want to see this Netflix special that's been in the works for a very, very long time, I wish that Ava DuVernay would have stayed on there, but she didn't. But if it gets shelved or canceled, then any holdups that are rumored to be caused by that special go away. So I guess we'll see if that actually holds weight. But anyways, I did want to chat about that for a second while we wait for this announcement to drop for the lineup. I see that some people are coming in here and they're saying, I missed it. Did they talk about the lineup yet? No, they have not talked about the lineup yet. They have not divulged the lineup yet. It's the truth of the matter is. But to kind of put a bow on this estate thing, and I'm going to kind of go over here to the chat area, and I'm going to spend some time with you guys here. Thank you so much, Vast Christian. Vast Christian just donated. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Awesome. I think all of us can be a little bit disgruntled right now about what kind of we're seeing, because it's not really playing out very professionally, I guess is the word for it. I mean, you can be, if you believe that Londell and Charles have tricked Sharon into the way this current state is, yeah, I can see you being upset. But I wish this could have been done fairly, and that Prince had laid out a will so that none of us would even be in this place right now. But we are. Maybe we would be awash in beautiful new music, but it ain't that way. So the only thing I can tell you, and that was the reason why I had asked you about some of these things, is that just be honest with yourself about what you want. And if you believe that this setup now with Londell and Charles being the managing members is the reason why you're not getting what you want, we don't know that that's the case. Is it? I don't know. Is it really? I don't know. Again, way outside of my pay grade, but let's check the comments. But I think I gave you enough to talk about and think about. And one of the important questions I think is a valid one. And I'll go back to that question because I think I missed some of your responses, that if a brand new album with 12 new Prince songs, unreleased Prince songs, came and dropped tomorrow, would you not buy it because of the fact that Charles and Londell are the ones that are managing members? Would that be, would you be crossing your arms and refusing? I'm not going to go and buy that. No, I can count on one hand, probably half of one hand, how many people would probably do that just out of spite, but then would probably give in a couple of weeks later when everybody's going, oh my God, have you heard this brand new album? Oh my God. I don't, anyways. Yeah. So there is all that. Kirk Johnson, I see you, brother. I see you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, and peace and love, brother. Listen, yeah, I wish I could give you all of the information that I had, but I'm going to scroll through here, and I'm going to go through and look to see exactly what. There's a bunch of comments. We're buying time right now until Paisley Park actually drops this. Drops it. We thought, I had heard that somebody said, "Oh, it's probably going to be like 7:00 Central time when they release it, that was 49 minutes ago. So maybe it's going to be 9. So we're just going to just hang out. Just going to hang out. Now, first off, Elise says no. Again, no. Is it Elise or Alice? Miss Agostino, are you saying that you would not buy the CD because of the current situation in place right now with Londell and Charles? Or are you saying, no, you're going to the store and you're buying it? Which one are you saying? I'm going to get a little bit of feedback on this one because I'm curious as to, I'm waiting for the response on that one. Yeah, everybody says let's buy it. Oh yeah. Okay. Alice says I would buy it. Right. I want to hear people say who would not buy it. Is there anybody in the house who would not buy it because of the current situation right now? And again, the reason why I'm asking this is because of the fact that everybody is very, very upset. People are attacking Londell on Twitter and he's buying into it. I don't know. I got to understand. Yeah. And I totally understand that. I totally understand that because when I'm being attacked on Twitter, which I get attacked on Twitter every now and then, I'm sure there's going to be some clips that are going to come up out of this broadcast for sure. But he's buying into it. I think once you get to a certain level of notoriety or level in your profession, there is no reason why you need to be responding to some of the things that people say. You just kind of if you have haters, you're doing something right. I'm not saying that he's doing something right. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm just saying that most people that are good at what they do have haters. That's just, yeah, exactly. Elena said it. Exactly. He should be quiet. Just stay quiet. Stay quiet. Don't say anything. Don't entertain these, because most of these people, it's like, you're killing yourself and you're putting yourself out there and you're putting yourself on the defensive. And when you look to see the person that is slamming you, you see like, oh, he's got 20 followers. It doesn't, right. Diana says the guilty always shouts the loudest. Yeah. Yeah. Brian says they attacked you on Twitter. Let me know who they are because I eat Twitter trolls for dinner. Yeah, I did get attacked. I've been attacked a few times because I don't know when to stop talking. I just don't, because I am still, even after all this discussion, I kind of feel like I've ridden a very, very fine line where I'm not saying anything negative. I'm not saying anything positive because I certainly don't really think that the way that it's set up right now is fair, because I will put myself out there and I will say it straight, just like I just said it. I believe that Sharon and Noreen should have managing member status. I think that they should do that. I feel like that is fair. That is, I just think that's fair. They are heirs, like legit heirs. I don't understand why they don't. It doesn't make, you got to have a voice. And it's like, oh, well, they have a voice. They're sitting at the table. Yeah. But if their voice doesn't count and they're not actually on paper part of the managing members, and if there's a tie, they're going to get overridden by managing members. And that's, I'm not sure that's exactly how it works at the table, but my guess is that, in most cases, like all businesses, seniority wins, seniority rules. I just think that that's an easy fix. Londell and Charles, I know I've seen you guys in here before listening to the show. Maybe you're waiting till afterwards, or you don't want to kind of put yourself out here right now. That's cool. But I would say that would be an easy fix. You want to make sure that you're looking fair and looks like you're not taking advantage of, somebody like Sharon, who's 80 something now or something. Revise the contract, make a revision of the contract that makes them managing members so that they have a voice in what's going on, so that they're actually useful in this process, because they actually have, they're not saying that you don't, but I'm telling you, they're pretty active and they have their ear to, they're listening to what people are saying. And I think it's a fair thing. You don't want to change any of the verbiage. That's fine. But that to me is at least an olive branch, to say, all right, but here's the other thing too. If you're going to be made a managing member, Remember, the definition for a managing member is somebody who also manages the day-to-day operations. So you just can't just have the title and then not do anything. That was something else, I guess, that Londell had said in that Breakfast Club meeting, something along the lines of, we just don't give people titles just because of the fact, I'm way paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, you can't have a title if you're not going to come with it, if you're not going to do what needs to be done in order to move the needle. If we do that, then we're just giving you a title. So if the title is what you want, cool. But you're going to have to do, you have to do what it say. Dwayne says, Mr. Christopher, where is Primary Wave? Don't they have a say? Yeah, well, they do actually have a say, but here's the difference though. Primary Wave makes money off of the music being released. So the fact that no music has been put out right now, we have seen from various places that there are pressings of, we saw the pressings of, assuming these aren't forged, deep fake album covers, but there was one for Love Symbol and one for Diamonds and Pearls. It was a repressing, and I had heard some other things too, that there's some special things about it, but we don't know when that's dropping. But they have things that they're actually creating and have actually put out there that are sitting there behind this wall. And again, the only reason why I say that, rumor and conjecture. Remember, folks, don't take clips. Rumor and conjecture. I've seen photos of some of these things that they're pressing, that these various companies are pressing, and they share the photos. And so we know that they're there, assuming the photos aren't deepfakes, but I think they're out there, but they're not being released, or they're coming and they're going to be released on a certain day. I thought for sure that something was going to get released on April 21st to celebrate. Shannon was like, perhaps they'll give it to us at the celebration. I am expecting, look, I've got this stupid green screen behind me, or I could actually show you. Last year when we were at Celebration, they actually gave us a 45, was a gold pressing 45 of, I don't even remember what it was. It was like Welcome to America and something else, but it was, but they only gave it to the VIP members. So there is some stuff that's coming out there. I am absolutely trying to keep my eye on this. I don't know. So whoever this person was that called me late at night here from this 201 area code. What area code is 201? Somebody looked that up for me. But somebody called me from that and left a message. I don't know what it's about. So hopefully it wasn't Londell. You just never know. Anyways, we can continue burning up some time here talking about the estate. I think it's kind of funny that we got to kind of do this. I'm actually glad that I put it out there. I said on Twitter, this was going to be called The Estate and You. And I put out an invitation to Sharon through her rep, through Sharon, and also Londell and also Charles. I said, look, we're going to talk about this. If you guys want to say your piece, you guys want to come on the show, you guys want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. We have a really, really good audience. They would love to be able to, hear what you have to say, and you can speak your piece. And I think we get pretty good traction. You'll have a really good audience. Say it. A couple of days went by and none of them responded. Obviously, they're in their feelings right now with all this stuff that's going on Twitter. But within those 2 days before they even had a chance to respond, I said, never mind. I just emailed them back and messaged them back. I said, never mind. I'm just not going to do it. I just don't, because what ends up happening is that if you have Londell on the show, then it looks like you're taking sides with Londell, and it's going to be a very, very difficult balancing act that you have to do. It's the same thing with Charles, same thing with Sharon. Now, Sharon has been on the show before, but the last time that Sharon was on the show, it was for the release of John L. Nelson's CD. And we sat and we talked about the release of the music. I didn't ask her any questions about Prince, about childhood. And, she shared some of that stuff, but none of this stuff was going on at all. So there was nothing really to divulge, but so, she's enjoyed herself. We had a great time on the show. So, but now there is so much going on, and I think people are just kind of just sitting in the background, just kind of, do you ever sound like, one of them, I can't remember which, was it Sharon? One of them does not have a blue check mark, if I remember correctly. So once you send that tweet, it's done. You're done. It's out there. But if you actually pay for Twitter and you have the blue check mark, you have 30 minutes to delete or edit your tweet. So, there's that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to continue taking some of these questions on here. We've got New Jersey. I see all these people talking about New Jersey here. Jude says, am I in the minority or is anyone else bummed by the lack of unseen concert video? I feel that his live performances were the biggest contributions and supposedly there were always cameras rolling. Yes, there is. And that's the other thing too. We talked about the whole dynamic of all those concert videos that are there and the dynamic of bootleggers and how the bootleggers are beating the estate. Sorry, hit my mic. Are really kind of beating the estate. And 201 is New Jersey. Okay. I have lots of friends in New Jersey. It could be anybody. And so they're releasing concert footage and they're releasing box sets and all kinds of different things. And they're at a disadvantage because one of the things that Paisley Park has is soundboard recordings of everything that was recorded. And it's the first source. It's not the first source that was copied onto a second source that was recorded in with a tape recorder in front of the second source and then was transferred to somebody else who copied it from the cassette to a fourth source and then released. They have all the original material. So they could literally, with the amount of concerts and footage that is out there, they could push out such an amazing volume of content that would be overwhelming. It would almost be the point where like bootleggers would be like, all right, this is pointless. This is pointless to do this because they're going to be overrun by the amount of material that they have. It should be like that. What you saying, Andre? Yeah. Let's ask this question. You can still continue asking questions about the estate and everything. It's all good about that. I do want to ask, while we are waiting for the official announcement here from Paisley Park, who is it that you think is going to be on this lineup? I'm curious as to what, everybody has expectations about who's going to be on this lineup. We were talking about this before. We were saying, Audrey was saying it's going to be a bunch of people that we don't know. Like it's going to be local bands or like Michael Bland's side project or something, which, I mean, anything that they do is going to be great because everybody has to go through a process to be considered. But I am curious, who are you considering? Who are you considering? And who do you want to be in there? And so I'm going to wait for some of your answers on that. And and Anna mentions, especially for releases and stuff, Prince piano and a microphone. I think that is going to be a dangerous one for them to sit on because, especially from his final concert point of view, that Prince piano and a microphone from Paisley Park, the one where he kind of, launched this whole thing. There's some really good recordings of that. And the bootleggers have already released a box set of that. But his final show in Atlanta, which we know they have phenomenal recordings of because there was a clip of, I want to say Sometimes It Snows in April, that was released from that show on Tidal. And so we know that there's a bunch of stuff out there, but it is, wait a minute, Samantha, is that true? Samantha said they took Prince's blue check mark away. Is that true? That can't be true. I hope that's not true. Somebody check that. Go to Twitter and go to Prince's account and see if they've removed his blue. I mean, that could just be, we're not going to pay the $8 a month or whatever it is. Anyways, I'm looking over all these chats. Lots of great information in here for sure. Andre's back in the mix. What's going on, Andre? The one says probably somebody who's going to be there is Shelby J. Well, now here's the thing. Let's talk about Shelby J, because Craig Alexander and Prince Day Houston is, I'm sorry if you see me shuffling around in my chair, because I messed up my back, and it's like really, really difficult to sit for a long period of time, or stand for a long period of time, or walk for a long period of time. So I got to kind of mix it up. So you see me shuffling around. But Craig Alexander and Prince Day Houston are actually doing a full show, a party in Houston the night before the celebration on June 7th. And when I asked him, when I asked Shelby, I said, "Are you going to the celebration?" She was like, "I don't know." It's like, okay, that's not really an answer, but I mean, she would have to fly out directly from Houston over to the celebration, the next day, because the celebration starts on the 8th, but that's doable if she's not on the books until later. But, we just got to keep on keeping on and, see what this lineup consists of. I see somebody else has put here, Tony M. Tony M could be, that obviously we're talking about, when you talk about Tony M, we're obviously talking about NPG, and NPG has already done lots of that stuff. The other thing that we heard was, the Prince Live on the big screen was a big thing. And one of the people that was really heavily responsible for putting that together was Kirk Johnson. Both of the ones that were done, the original one that they did for the first couple of celebrations, and then the one that they just did last celebration with MPG, those that was heavily put together by Kirk, and they take months of rehearsal to get it right and to make sure that it aligns with the click track and that everything goes as smoothly as it's supposed to go. And I'm pretty confident that Kirk is not involved in the celebration. He's not going. So if he's not going to be there, then what, who else? Who else is going to be there? Grace is hoping for Third Eye Girl. That would be amazing. Now there's something that could be done. There's not a whole bunch of choreography in that, so that's something that could possibly be done. I have not heard from Ida or Hannah, or I haven't heard from any of them, or Donna. So maybe possibly Third Eye Girl. That would be Keith is like, are they going to make an announcement? Well, they said that we're going to release the information on the 26th, and here we are on the 26th. It's now 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we still do not have any notation whatsoever. And I also have a couple people that are actually waiting for me, are looking for me, because I can't do everything. I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can by refreshing the screens, and watching to see if anything gets released via email or on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever, or maybe they're just like, we're not going to release this until he goes off the air. Well, all right. That's fair. I want to be able to help you talk about the lineup and tell me what you think. Worst case scenario, if I have to sign off without doing the lineup announcement, maybe you can, Funkenberry will probably do his show later on. He's on the West Coast, so he's probably got a few more hours that he can probably sit and wait it out. We'll see what happens. All good. Morris Hayes will be talking about Morris Hayes, hopefully. I think, Morris was on the show last week, and we had a very big show last week, and he was on the show, and he was saying something to the effect that he just has no idea what's going on. Either that, or he is withholding information, because there was some information that he revealed on the show that I was not aware of. I thought there was some of the stuff was not. We had already heard the news that the estate was giving Morris Day a little bit of grief with using the name Morris Day in the time. And now apparently they've also done the same thing to NPG, and they had a 5-year agreement with the estate that they could use the name NPG, New Power Generation, and that 5 years has expired. And so now they don't know kind of where they stand as far as being able to tour or being able to do anything. So that was straight from Morris Hayes. That is not rumor and conjecture. That was divulged from Morris Hayes' last show. So you can watch last week's show. We did an amazing memorial. So thank you to all the people that showed up. Dwan Elliott showed up. Shelby J was there. Tamar was there. Morris Hayes showed. Maite came. So that was a really, really great show. Really appreciate everybody that came and spent some time here. But again, Morris said that MPG they can't use MPG. I guess until they renew the contract or whatever it is that's going on. So there's something else that could happen. The one also mentioned Mint Condition, and we had talked about this too. One of the things that we would have liked to have seen the estate do is bring in artists that weren't necessarily part of the Purple Circuit. They were, but they weren't like The Time or Apollonia 6 or Third Eye Girl, or they weren't any of those. The Family, Revolution, MPG, it wasn't any of that. The bands that had an obvious direct influence on from Prince, and that was one of them. Mint Condition, D'Angelo, Michelle Indegliocello, Janelle Monáe. I mean, those are all really, some of them, Janelle's massive. That's very, very improbable. But would we all like to see it? Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. That would be great. Tom Jones. Brian says Tom Jones. And of course he followed up with a laughing face because, Sandra says having Questlove come out to DJ. Yeah, I would say that would be great too. Now, I do know that Questlove and the Roots are going on a tour. I don't know if you guys have seen this lately, but there is a tour that they are actually doing right now with a bunch of old school hip hop bands, which is pretty phenomenal. I just sent this to, it's called The Force Live, and it's the Roots, but also on the docket, and the lineup will vary from town to town, but also on the docket is LL Cool J, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Big Boy, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Common, De La Soul, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, Goody Mob, Ice-T, Jadakiss, Juvenile, MC Light, Method Man and Redman, Rakim, Rick Ross, and more. So they've got a pretty big tour that's going to be happening here with a hip hop throwback, and every single city is going to be different, and it's just going to be all over the map. So it's going to be very, very cool. So let's see here. Trying to go through all the Brian Alfred's going back in time. The Rebels. Yeah, okay. We can do that. Minus Prince, everybody's still there. I know somebody mentioned, Pamela mentions, I also think maybe Tommy Barbarella, Rosie Gaines' daughter. I know that they are having a tribute to Rosie Gaines in this event. So there's a tribute to Rosie Gaines that's going to be happening. Whether or not she makes an appearance, I'm pretty sure she won't perform. I think she's kind of done with that, but maybe she might actually come out and talk and do maybe an interview, and who knows? I know she was very, very apprehensive to do any of that, but let's see who else we got. Michelle Indegliocello in the mix, Patti LaBelle or Shelby J to tribute Rosie. That would be good. Could do that for sure. Sheila E. We mentioned Sheila E. I did speak with Gilbert Davison the other day, and I said, just out of curiosity, is Sheila in the mix at all, just between you and me? Because obviously we're about to get this lineup announcement, and he said, not that I'm aware of. So I don't think Sheila E. is in that mix. The Revolution, I don't know. I mean, that's it. It was done before. I don't know. I think they're really trying to figure out, they're really trying to get into a position where they are going to be making, some type of announcement where they want to make sure that it's going to be worth the draw. Because you got a lot of people that have shelled out $1,200 to be VIP. And then half that to be general admission without even knowing who's on the docket. So you know, and I've said this before with the celebration, and I apologize if you feel like I'm hemming and hawing, but the reality of it is that I certainly thought that by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the day they said they were going to be doing a lineup release, that we would have a lineup release at this point. I mean, I've spent the better part of, well over an hour talking about the estate and everything else. So it's kind of a little bit surprising that this did not come a little bit earlier in the day, but it is what it is. It's all good. But if you bought a ticket, you're going to have fun. If you've never been to a celebration, you absolutely positively have to go to the celebration. It is a lot of fun with a lot of people who are in that purple circle. We, a million times I've said it, our Prince fans are in a bubble. It's very, very rare that you run into somebody who is a hardcore Prince fan. You might, like, maybe out of every 100 people that you meet might be like, oh my God, I listen to everything. I've got everything he's ever done, blah, 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 blah. Very rarely do you find, a like-minded person that is a huge Prince fan. We are all out there, but we're very spread, very, very thin all around the world. And the celebration is a phenomenal opportunity to be able to come in and spend time with a bunch of people who are like-minded and appreciate the music and are really just all into it. They dress the part, they dress to the nines, they have fun, they dance. There's lots of events going in and around all around the town. There's some really, really cool concerts that are going to be going on during the celebration too. I think the night of June 8th, I'm sorry. The Cure is playing in Minneapolis. So if you are a new wave fan and you are obsessed with the Cure or really, really like that sound, they're playing there. And I know that the 7th is a dance party at First Avenue. Actually, I don't know why I haven't mentioned this. Thanks to the great Bonnie Freshour, she has moved her spreadsheet. She still manages her spreadsheet, but she also migrates a lot of all that content that's on that spreadsheet of all the events that are going on in and around Minneapolis and the surrounding area, like St. Paul and whatnot, onto princecelebration.com. Princecelebration.com is my website. I own that domain name, but I gave her full autonomy to go in there and do whatever she wants to do. And she was moving, and she's going on there and she's putting all the stuff on there, which is phenomenal. That's just very, very cool. So if you want to know what events are going on, where they're happening, where you can buy tickets and everything, when you're in Minneapolis for the celebration, and even if you're going and you're not going to the celebration and you just kind of want to be around everything, that's an awesome resource for you because it gives you all the content that you possibly could want. I still cannot believe this list has not been released yet. It's pretty insane. All right. What else was I going to talk about? Well, I was going to look to see some of the other signups that you had or other thoughts that you had. Sandra says Third Eye Girl on the big screen. That'd be good. Andre Simone. Yep, that's good. Brown Mark, he did it last year. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Yep, that would be awesome. That'd be fantastic. We've seen Jude put it out again. I know I've already put a couple of comments from Jude, but he said Sheila E. She's done the celebration before posthumously. Madhouse, that is a good one. That is a really, really good one. The Family, they've done the celebration. That was a few years ago. They did, I think it was 2019. I think it was the F Deluxe was there. Wendy and Lisa, they were not there, but they were there as the Revolution. So they were there. Wendy and Lisa and the whole Revolution crew was there. They did it. Jesse Johnson, he was there. That was 2018, I think. And all these things are kind of the original 7. Yeah. Wishful thinking, but Jesse Johnson is a hard catch in this whole mix. Getting all the original guys together would be a phenomenal undertaking. That's like doing a Dungeon Family reunion with everybody. It's very, very, very difficult to do because there's some people that are just not Jesse kind of came and did it, but you could also tell that when he did it, it was very, it wasn't under duress, but you could tell he was just like, I'm going to share some stories that maybe some Prince fans are not going to be happy with. He had his conflicts, and he made sure that he told everybody. So, anyways, Samantha actually did a little bit of feedback on the Prince account losing its blue Twitter and the blue account, the PRN Legacy account. Samantha does a PRN Legacy account, which is once Prince passed away, they moved that Twitter account, the @Prince Twitter account, over to @PRN Legacy. And so that was those are the last tweets from Prince when he was with us. And then the estate took over the @Prince account. So if you keep on scrolling back to @Prince, you're only going to get to a certain point, because everything that Prince did when he was with us is at PRN Legacy. Yes, no blue check mark. Well, there you go. And I obviously you can't. That should have a blue check mark, in my opinion, because of the fact that it was Prince and it was the legit account. So obviously that the blue check thing does not exist. But yes, Kim's reiterated what I said, that Shelby J will be in Houston. It's correct. She will be at the Prince Day Houston party in Houston. So if you go to Shelby J's website, you can get tickets. If you happen to be in Texas, in the Houston area, you need to get tickets to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shelby J is going to be throwing down there for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's Craig Alexander in the Prince Day Houston group. And they got Shelby J there. There's going to be a lot of folks there. So a lot of special guests and whatnot. So if you're not going to be going because you're too far away and you happen to be near Houston, go there. It's going to be fun. Elena says, take some kava kava. What is kava kava? Somebody tell me what kava kava is. That's somebody else said that too, Elena. That's kind of weird that you said that. What is kava kava? Somebody want to tell me what kava kava is? Yeah. Micha says you have to pay for check marks now. Yes, I know that. I actually pay for my blue check mark because Funkotopia, it's legit. It's actually me. So I just kind of felt like I didn't have it. These are some good ones, Mickey. Mickey, I will give you this. Mickey says, as far as the lineup is concerned, she would love to see Lenny Kravitz. Great. Yes, absolutely. Lenny Kravitz would be phenomenal. I'm going to say, let me just go ahead and put it down. Lenny Kravitz would be a win, a huge win for Paisley Park, because I don't think anybody contests that Lenny Kravitz is definitely cut from the same cloth as Prince as far as, not sound, but, performance wise, and that all Prince fans appreciate. There's very, very little. I can't think of many people that would complain if Lenny Kravitz came and performed, because he's going to be doing covers and he's going to be, and Prince loved Lenny. A lot of people don't know this, but Lenny was all over a lot of songs uncredited. I mean, he sang background vocals on Dolphin. He did some party vocals and stuff. And there was a lot of that going on. Jesse Johnson did the party vocals on 1999, a lot of the party vocals on 1999, and nobody knew that. It was uncredited. Just like Lenny Kravitz did some background vocals on Dolphin and played a lot of stuff. And he didn't complain. He was like, I'm in the studio with a legendary performer. Why not? I'm fine. Maite is a good one, but Maite is a dancer. So she's been there quite a bit. I know she's been at least at a few posthumous ones performing. Matter of fact, at the last one, she was there dancing as part of the NPG troupe that was doing the Prince Live on the big screen. She was actually there for that. So yeah, Maite typically makes an appearance at these events pretty regularly. So you'll see her. Candy Dolfer would be good, but I'm telling you, I'm thinking, that Madhouse comment that Jude made would be good. Madhouse would be phenomenal. I would love to see some of these instrumental things that we have not heard yet. A lot of people don't know this, but you've heard me. If you're somebody that's been on listened to the show quite frequently before, you've heard me mention that Prince and Mono Neon actually did a side project, a musical kind of jazz Madhouse type side project. Obviously with Mono Neon, it's getting a little bit quirky, but called and there's an album called Black is the New Black. And it's an unreleased album. It was done. I don't know if it was completely mixed down or not. But that album does exist, and it's called Black is the New Black. And I think the past 2 times that I did a tour, I always try to do a tour, even I've already seen everything, but I like to, it seems like every single person, every single tour guide that goes in there has something a little bit different to say. And sometimes you got to bite your lip and say, that's not true. Or that's not right. That's not correct. But don't, if you're a true hardcore Prince fan and you go on one of these tours and you hear the tour guide say something that's not correct, just let them know afterwards. Don't try to call them out in front of folks. I think they're used to that sometimes, just because that's how us Prince fans normally are. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Lenny's saying, hopefully Rosie will be there so we can really show her some love in person. Yeah. Everybody loves Rosie. There's no doubt about it. And there is going to be a tribute for her, but it's unknown. It has not been divulged whether or not she is actually going to make an appearance. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping to actually be able to get to see her in person and not like way from afar. Yeah. Brian is also, re-saying Lenny Kravitz. That's, a good guess. I mean, not a good guess. That would be an awesome option. Jill says she kind of hinted, so stay tuned. All right, let's do that. We'll stay tuned. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, Tuberosa 11 gave a long list of folks. Jeff Katz. Okay. I think he's done a panel before. Eric Leeds been there before. He's performed as well. Did a panel. And if you want to hear some great Eric Leeds stories, yeah, definitely check out. He's been on the show a few times, and he never disappoints. I'll tell you that right now. Judith Hill. Okay, let me say with Judith Hill. Judith Hill is. I got to see her in Atlanta, and there's still some clips from that Atlanta show that I'm going to share on Facebook. I'll try to remember to share it this week, but there's some, I did not know. I always knew that she was talented and she was, played piano and I know, but I did not know that she was as well versed. And like, there's some artists when you see them, you're just like, I knew you were good, but I didn't know you were all that. And Judith Hill is one of those, because the way that she kind of flows, she plays guitar a lot like Prince, where she is in it and she feels it and she vibes with the guitar and she vibes with piano and she vibes with everything. And it's just, the music is flowing through her. And you can obviously, it's a very distinct difference when you can have an artist that is just playing just to play. And you could, the chord structures are very, very, staccato, and everything is just really there, and just that's how it is. But then there's some artists where when they play, you can tell that they are just in that zone and the music is just kind of just flowing through them. There's a lot of artists that are like that. Dave Matthews is kind of like that, where he's just vibing and in it. Judith Hill is just vibing and in it. Prince, same way, vibing and in it. I'm sorry if I said Dave Matthews. Is like, did he just say Dave Matthews? Yeah, there's a lot of bands that are like that, where the artists are just, become one with their instrument and they become one with the music, and it just flows through them. Susanna Melvoin. Yep. Susanna Melvoin would probably be good. She would probably, I think she sat in with F Deluxe last time. So she was there. Wendy and Lisa again, the Revolution. Andre Simone. I don't think Andre Simone's really done anything as far as the celebration is concerned. So that'd be good to see them. Morris Day's done it. Times also made appearances as well, and he just got done doing New Year's Eve at Paisley Park, so I don't know. And I think if Morris Day is going to do it, I think what ends up happening is, hey Kirk, what's up, brother? Kirk, I know is not going to be there, so we're not going to be doing any, as far as I know. Kirk, correct me if I'm wrong. But if Morris is going to do it, no offense to the band that he plays with now, But when you're in a celebration type of scenario, I think you cannot perform unless you're going to have the full band, unless you're going to have something, some semblance of something close to the original 7. You know, people go to see for the, people that aren't, just know a few of the hits and aren't familiar with, necessarily band members and whatnot. That's one thing, but you're talking about hardcore Prince fans that have just paid $600 or $1,200 just to be in that room. They know their shit. So it's not going to go over well. If you kind of come with none of the original members except for you. But this is Morris's final tour. So here's what I will say. Go to Morris Day's website, Morris Day Entertainment, go to Morris's site. And if you've never seen Morris Day in the Time live, they're still doing a great show. Go see him, because this is his final tour. He's got a really good, the album's really strong. I'm surprised it didn't do well on the charts, but radio does not love us anymore. So it doesn't love her. Just doesn't. Elena says, again, this is all rumor. We're hearing everything second nature, but she says, Toya Gaines said her mom does not want to attend, but she will be there on her behalf. That's what Toya said. So hopefully if Rosie, I don't know, it would just be able to good to see her, even if she just recorded a video clip and tell Toya, I have not spoken to Toya. I don't know Toya, but tell Toya that if she can get her mom to record a little video or something that we can watch, that would be phenomenal. We just want to know. We just want to see her. We just want to see her. I mean, most people haven't laid eyes on her until since the 90s. So we just want to know. We know that she's okay because you're telling us that she's okay. But we just want to be able to see her. Know she's okay. And that's all. Jill Jones. Jill Jones is so interesting. You can bring her back. Jill's a firecracker. A little love for Kirk here. Kirk said Kirk did a phenomenal job. Yeah, those Prince live on the big screens. Kirk really put those things together like masterfully. It had everybody in tears and just a phenomenal job, man. He's producer extraordinaire. Anyways, if you want to get a little bit of insight into Jill Jones, go to her Twitter account, because her Twitter account is fire and very, very not, just go to her Twitter account and you can read and just see she is a firecracker. So, yeah, I would hate to get in, and whatever you do, if you happen to find yourself in a room with her, and she is, and a political discussion comes up, just leave, just go somewhere else, because I don't think you want to be in a discussion with her and politically, because she's got some, just go to Twitter. It's fun. It's pretty amazing. All right. Yeah, Lena says NPG was on fire last year. Yes, they were. And let me go ahead and just apologize again that this is really, really surprising. That Paisley Park has not released this lineup yet, because now we're at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on the day that they said they're going to release it. And I know that they're an hour behind us, so we're looking at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So maybe they're waiting until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're just going to sit here and just keep on cutting up and just having a good time. I want to answer your questions. I want to hear more from you guys. I mean, we already talked about the whole estate scenario. So, and kind of had some fun questions to talk about through there, but I'm enjoying this. I don't get an opportunity to do this enough where I get to spend time with you guys and read some of these comments and answer some of your questions. This is very unusual that I have the time to do this. And I love this. It's, yeah, again, more love for Kirk. Kirk, thank you so much for hanging out and being here. The love from Joni, some more love from Jeanette. Thank you, Kirk. That was awesome last year. It was phenomenal. Yeah, Claire, I agree. Very sad that we won't be having that happen again, because even if they said, you know what, let's do that again, it's still the amount of time that it takes to put this together is just ridiculous. It is an insane amount of time that it takes to put it together. It's just not. Andy Allo. Now, here's somebody else that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think, oh, Andy, she's another one that plays really, really well. I didn't know that she played guitar as well as she played until I saw her here in Atlanta. She came through with Van Hunt. I always give Van Hunt lots of love here on the show. I love Van. We used to hang out when he was here in Atlanta, and he used to live here in Atlanta before he went to California to become, never mind. I wish that he would write more music, but anyways, what was cool is that it was the anniversary. I can't remember what it was. It was a 20th anniversary, maybe, of Van Hunt's debut album, but he came through and he did an acoustic set, and Andy Allo came and she did an acoustic set. So both of them did acoustic sets. And I did not know that Andy could play guitar as proficiently as she was playing. I thought she was a chord girl, and I was totally wrong. I was happy to be embarrassed. I was happy to be embarrassed that I was wrong. That's all I got to say. Happy to be wrong. What more can you ask for? It was phenomenal. I love Andy. I love Andy's voice. Every artist that's ever worked with Prince in that genre, Andy, they all are just really phenomenal artists. Andy Allo and Leanne LaHavis. Leanne LaHavis is fire. Didn't she have a brand new album that was supposed to be coming out? Somebody look on Spotify and see if her brand new, I hope I didn't miss it, but I think there's supposed to be Leanne's album is supposed to already be out. If it did, it just landed and I totally missed it. And I want to curse myself and kick myself in the head for missing it. But the other thing too, is that if you don't have Sheila E.'s brand new album, Hella Funky, get that too, because that is fire. That is her Sheila E.'s brand new album is absolutely fire. Tanja is backing up again with Madhouse. Yes, Madhouse would be phenomenal. You can get everybody involved because I don't think anybody would contest doing it. Madhouse was obviously Prince on drums, but if you can get Sheila E. in here to fill in on drums, or even Michael Blank, anybody could, fill in those places. But I think of every time I think of Madhouse, especially their first album on that song 7. Oh my gosh, it is just the most insane drumming I've ever heard. I always thought that was Sheila on drums just because, and I've always meant to ask her that, is that really you on 7 on Madhouse? Because I just can't imagine it not being you, because it's got that same exact Latin speed. It just got that fast, erratic drum. And I thought that's Sheila E. That's got Sheila E. written all over it. And I thought that for years until Dwayne was like, nope, that's Prince. I'm like, I just don't think it is. I think it's Sheila E. uncredited and Prince has got a name on it, because it's all I hear is Sheila E. styling on that song 7. It's her exact styling. I've got to ask her just flat out. Pamela says Morris Hayes mentioned he might be there. Kirk already wrote in here that he's not. Yes, I spoke with Kirk earlier. I spoke with Kirk last week, and he told me directly. He said he's not coming. So I knew that was the case, but I never like to share what we discuss privately, just because it's none of your business. I talk to a lot of different artists, and they divulge a lot of different things, and a lot of times I can't. I would love to tell you some of the things I've heard, but I can't. I did not know this. Samantha, thank you for that. Donna just released a new single. Now, is there anybody in here who is a huge fan of all of the instrumental stuff that Prince and Third Eye Girl did, like Menstrual Cycle, Octopus Heart, that type of stuff, Midnight Blues, those types of things? That stuff to me was probably some of the best jam sessions and things that I just loved it. I was obsessed with that instrumental jam session kind of just sound where it's just everybody knows what they're doing and they're vibing and they're in it. Donna Grantis's album, what was it called? Diamonds and Dynamite, I think is what it's called. This is years ago that she released this album. if you love that sound, that instrumental sound that Third Eye Girl did, get that album because it sounds just like that stuff, that exact same vibe. It is an amazing work to CD. That Donna Grantis album is so good. So good. Instrumental album. And it's just got that whole, it's incredible. It's incredible. Thank you for letting me know that she released a new single. I absolutely will check it out. Tuberoso says, Bobby Z again. Well, Bobby Z he's obviously not a soloist. He plays with a band. So if he comes through with the Revolution, that will be obviously, we're asking again, however, what about Shelby? Shelby is playing on June 7th in Houston. So I don't know if the celebration is part of that or not. Normally with background vocals, if anybody needs it, they normally call on the trio du jour, which is Shelby J, Liv Warfield, and Elisa Fiorillo Deese. Is it still Deese? Elisa Fiorillo? I don't know which one it is now. If I remember correctly, I think her husband passed away. But you're normally looking at, sorry, I didn't mean to go dark. But Elisa, Liv, and Shelby are normally the trio. Their voices together make magic. And individually, they have insane shows. I mean, Liv's shows are fire. And right now she is doing so much with the stuff that she was doing with the Cirque du Soleil type of stuff that she was doing in performances. I think I think it was Audrey that was telling me that the shows, I didn't get an opportunity to see it, but they said the shows were just like some other next level type of thing. So each one of them could easily hold on to their shows for sure. Yep. We are still waiting for this announcement. I am refreshing pages. I'm hoping that all of you are refreshing pages too. I have a couple friends and whatnot that have my direct cell phone number. So they will text me directly if I happen to not be a part of the scroll. So everybody keep an eye out. Soon as it it was like Purple Army Leader says on Twitter, it's 8:11 in Florida. She said they said it 30 minutes ago. I was like, no, I'm in Georgia, the same time zone, and it's not. It's 9:11, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, I'm trying to watch all the different things that are going on. All right. Tuberosa said David Z and Owen Husney. David's no longer with us. Owen Husney, panel for sure. All right. We are looking for this. We are gluttons for punishment. Yeah. Vas Christian, I don't know. Vas, where are you at right now? I know that you're not in the States. I'm pretty sure you're overseas, and you were like debating whether or not you were even going to be able to come on the show because you were debating on Twitter about whether or not you were going to go to bed. But man, thank you for staying up. I'm curious what time it is where you are right now. I don't want to lose, listener, but we are, but just tell me. Lee says Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. That would be great. I think they have enough material that they could pull from and maybe even bring some special guests along that they could do a pretty sizable, very cool set with all the material that they have. Who knows? Wouldn't it be awesome to just kind of be sitting there, not expecting anything, and then out walks Janet Jackson? That'd be amazing. Not going to happen, but all day, every day, you'd be like, yep, that works for me. That works for me. Apollonia 6, they're all still with us. I don't know. I know that, they're all still with us, but I doubt that. That's pretty improbable. Andre Simone keeps getting mentioned. The Jets keep getting mentioned. The Jets, I think they're local, right? They're out of Minneapolis, right? So they're that could be possible. Don't know why they would do it, or if everybody that bought these VIP tickets were like, the Jets, yeah, now we're talking money well spent. No offense to the Jets. I still have a couple of their singles here, their dance singles. So Crush on You and whatever else, but I don't, It's not like I'd been like, yes, the Jets. Now we're talking. Yes. Might feel maybe Lisa and Cult Jam. Oh, y'all remember Lisa, right? I'm not that old. Yeah, Brian says Morris Day is doing his farewell tour this year. So, anyways. Dwayne says that's freaking petty. I don't know what's petty, but we'll figure it out. We got some hints. Jill says there's hints that Shelby might be there. Morris says maybe as well. I can't, excuse me. My cough button for a second. I can't imagine a celebration without Morris there or without Shelby, because I want to think that every single celebration posthumously that has happened, both of them were there in some form or fashion, whether or not Shelby was always singing background for something and Morris was always playing with some iteration. So I can't imagine a celebration without either one of them. So I'm good. Madhouse. Yeah. Everybody's saying Madhouse. Just yes. Madhouse. Madhouse would be a winner for sure. I just don't know what's going to be. Angela said Ninja Costa. You're probably talking about Nick Costa. Ninja Costa. Definitely change the name to Ninja Costa. I like that so much better. Mint Condition. Yes. Saw Stokely last Friday and he was awesome. Yeah, there's so many people that could easily be Raphael Sadiq. On and I were talking about this before, that there is a Tony reunion tour, I guess, that's going to be dropped. And the last time I heard something from Raphael, they were going to be hitting Atlanta at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen or what cities this is going to involve, but I heard the Triple T tour is going to be coming. So I don't know. Oh, the Nick Acosta lives in Australia now. I didn't even know that. Yeah, to have Questlove come out and DJ and be able to, slip in those rare things that we've never heard before, like you always would do whenever you do those DJ sessions online. You're like, what? What's that? So, all right. I have some people telling me they have some insight, and just go ahead. The person that just texted me, if you have some insight, go ahead and share some. Maybe I'm not going to divulge who you are. I can do it in whatever. Yes, they are touring with LL Cool J. We just talked about that, and a host of other folks as well. We need any type of inside information that you have as to why Paisley Park is sitting on this. Yes, everybody's like, still waiting. Yes, we are still waiting. Still friggin' waiting for this announcement about the lineup, which doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why they would do this. I don't understand why. Anybody go? Excuse me, I meant to ask this too. Who all went to, if anybody here went to the April 21st celebration at Paisley Park? I heard that it was obviously a somber event. What else could it be? It's a 7-year anniversary of his passing. So what else could there possibly be? I don't know. Santana. Oh, Ready for the World. That would be good. I could do, Ready for the World. I could do. That would be great. Melvin Riley's actually been on the show before. And if you go to Spotify, he actually has a bunch of new tracks that were released on Spotify. Melvin Riley is singer for Ready for the World. And this new music is really, really good. And it's actually on rotation on the Funked Up app. So if you download the Funked Up app and you listen to the Funked Up radio, which is 24/7 funk, not just all Prince, it's 24/7 funk, ASCAP license, by the way. His music is in rotation there. I'm actually starting tomorrow. At some point, I am actually going to remix. It's kind of like when you play bingo and they say shake those balls, and you get and you kind of move, shake the balls around. I'm going to do something very, very similar to the radio station, where I am going to be changing the priority levels on the radio stations for the Prince stuff, because we have, for those that don't know, we have a app called Funked Up that you can download for free on both Android and iPhone, and it has two radio stations. There's a 24/7 Prince radio station, and it has a 24/7 funk radio station. And on the Prince radio station, we play a little bit of everything. I mean, just a little bit of everything. But there's 3 folders that are in there. There are heavy rotation, medium rotation, and low rotation. And there's a reason why some of the songs are in low rotation, maybe because of the fact that they're like different versions of songs that you may or may not like. And I've decided that I'm probably going to switch up the priority levels of them, because you can set priority levels, like, for the system to kind of, the algorithm to kind of sway a little bit heavier, maybe into the medium, or a little bit heavier into the low, so that you're really getting some of the. And I've also, there's some more songs and stuff I've got to upload there, because there's some people saying, oh, we don't, there's some songs that I love that I don't hear anymore. All right, well, let's see if we can kind of, fix some of that. So I'm going to make a change. You guys can listen to the radio station tomorrow morning, and hopefully it will feel a little bit different, because I'll change priorities and I'll really mix it up. Gonna shake those balls. Not mine, the radio stations. Sylvia says Santana. Oh my God, come on now, just stop. Just that'll be fantastic to have a Santana in the mix. Just oh my gosh, it would just be amazing. Oh yeah. Elena remembers the story of Prince telling Questlove came to DJ, and Prince told him to stop and made everybody watch Finding Nemo instead. Yeah. So yeah, again, Janelle Monáe be phenomenal. Mint Condition will be just fantastic. We already said Judith Hill, that one's in there. Yeah, Liv Warfield's already in there. No Doubt. I think somebody would just said No Doubt because they were commenting No Doubt, and it was conversational, but No Doubt's another good one. That's a big, great band too. You got little Gwen Stefani in there. She loved Prince, and they actually worked together a few times, so I don't see why not. No Doubt would be great. Madhouse keeps coming up, so if you can figure out some way to make Madhouse happen, there's things you can do to make it work. Sheila E. has a concert elsewhere. I don't know if she does or not. I looked at her schedule, and I don't think that she does. I do know that Michael Gabriel is going to be the guitar player for Sheila E., who also has a phenomenal album called Genesis that we did an album release party for here on the show, is going to be touring with that new album, I think starting in July. So if you like Michael Gabriel and you like that album, and for instance, our theme song that he approved to allow us to use for the theme, which is this one. That's a good one. For those that don't know, that's Michael Gabriel from his song Radioactive Girl from the album Genesis. So yeah, that's a Michael Gabriel track, in case you didn't know. And I said, can we use that for our intro song? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Do that, please. So we did. He's going to be touring with that album Genesis, which is going to be amazing. Oh, here we go. Brian Alford says Alexander O'Neal. I have not seen Alexander O'Neal perform ever, but I've heard that this is going to be his final tour. Also, he's also doing a farewell tour, and some people said some pretty not nice things about him as far as his ability to perform. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I have not seen him perform. I don't know. If I ran into him at a Starbucks, I probably wouldn't even know him. That I'm just being honest. I actually have a couple of his singles here. I love the song "Fake." I mean, who doesn't love "Fake"? "Fake" was very much the time. It was had that whole vibe, and I think he knew what he was doing there. But that song was amazing. I love "Fake," but a lot of people were saying he just doesn't. It is what it is. All right, here's some good suggestions. Deja says Mavis Staples. That's a good one. She's still out there. She's still doing her thing. George Clinton in Parliament Funkadelic. That is completely 100% doable. Completely doable. I don't see why not. Tevin Campbell. Absolutely. He's actively touring as well. He just publicly came out, which, has endeared himself to a whole new set of fans, which is neither here nor there, but it did actually kind of briefly put the spotlight back on him. So people are getting, the only thing I can ask you is, can we talk? No, never mind. Sheena Easton. That'd be a good one. But would anybody even know Sheena Easton outside of, well, I guess that whole album was really, really good. But every time I think of Sheena Easton, it's kind of hard for me to get to what she was doing with Prince, with The Lover and Me and all that stuff that she was doing. Because I can't get past Morning Train. My baby takes the morning train. And then she went dirty, and her whole fan base was like, what? It was like the Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus conversion. That's exactly what it was like. That was the 80s equivalent to what happened in the 2000s with Hannah Montana. It just everybody was like Hannah Montana was like, yeah, and then Miley Cyrus came out and it was just like, what is happening here? She just went from like teen queen to twerk queen. Same thing happened with Sheena Easton. Sheena Easton was like Top of the Pops, clean, squeaky, polishy, clean. And then she came out with Sugar Walls and everybody's like, what's happening now? Anyways, it's just funny. And then Third Eye Girl, again, coming up with Third Eye Girl. Sorry, I just like to crack myself up every now and then. Any notes yet? Anything coming up yet? Anybody looking to see whether or not we have any announcements yet? I'm refreshing all of their actual social profiles to kind of see if anything is going, and so far nothing. Checking the emails in case to see if they push it out that way to see if there's anything there. Nothing there. This is kind of, let's just be silly here. Or let's just talk for real here just for a second. This is kind of the thing that frustrates folks to no end. I didn't think for any stretch of the imagination that here we are sitting at almost 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the 26th, when we were told that we're going to be releasing the lineup, that we will be sitting here wasting time trying to figure out, still waiting for this, because the 26th is going to be over in 2 hours on the Eastern Coast. And so, I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is silly to kind of, but again, I guess what is another 2 hours, right? Because the realistic thing is that most people have already bought their tickets and they have no idea who's playing. And, I know that Funkenberry was also talking about possibly doing a show for that, for the lineup announcements. And I don't know, is he going through this right now? I don't know if he's going through this right now. Anyways, we shall see. Everybody just keep on refreshing those socials and just let me know. I have a couple of people going through and actively refreshing socials, and hopefully will let me know directly if anything changes. But so far right now, the only thing we know is that they have featured panels for 7, I guess, talking about the significance of the numerology and specifically the number 7 in Prince's repertoire. And then, of course, they're having a panel that talks about diamonds and pearls. They're having a panel that's going to be talking about Prince and hip hop. They're going to be talking about Prince Fam Legacy, which I understand is essentially us as fans and how we're continuing to support his legacy. And then, of course, there's those other highlights like what we just talked about, the Rosie Gaines Prince Legacy tribute to Rosie, who we were just told that her daughter said that Rosie will not be here. But if there's some way that she can get her to make a video or something, it would be great to be able to, just to be able to see her. And then some Prince fan testimonials. I don't see anybody going, yes, that's worth it. Shelby's in the house. Hey, Shelby, how are you, dear? It's always good to have you aboard. Yeah, we're still waiting because Stephanie says I got general admission tickets because last year I didn't think the VIP tickets were worth the added few extras. I kind of had a little bit of a mixed bag on that. I have never gone to any of the events as VIP ever. I'm not affiliated or in any type of official capacity with the estate or Paisley Park. So I've never even received a sticker. So all I can tell you is that I've always gone general admission and I always had a phenomenal time, always had a great time. I never felt like, oh man, I wish I would have done that. This year I bit the bullet even without knowing what's going on and got VIP. So we will see what if it's worth it or not. I honestly don't know. I think because of some of this, whether or not I'm going to continue doing celebrations, because I just don't know what they could offer that would really, because I've seen almost every act has been associated with Prince, even Maserati. Brown Mark put together a semblance of Maserati. Rest in peace to Screamer, who just recently passed a couple weeks ago. But there's not many acts that I haven't seen. And I think a lot of people here are exactly the same. We've kind of seen everybody. So they're really going to have to come outside of the box to really do something. And so hopefully we'll see something that's going to be pretty amazing with this lineup. It's kind of weird that we're sitting here waiting for this. It just doesn't make a whole bunch of sense, really. Yes. Welcome, Shelby. Yeah. And Jill says it's just as fun. It's just being able to hang out with all these Prince fam and just go to the parties and dance and listen to music and be able to geek out on all things purple and know that, people are going to be able to keep up with you and the conversation. That says volumes for sure. Without a doubt, that says volumes. Still refreshing, not seeing anything on the Paisley Park sites, but I know that all of you guys are keeping an ear out, an eye out. I am looking at, let's see, I don't know where all you guys are looking, but I have, what do I have loaded? I have Twitter loaded, I have Instagram loaded, and I have Facebook loaded. And I also have the actual Paisley Park website page loaded as well. And I'm just kind of refreshing, maybe some other sites that happen to be online may have said, hey, he's on the East Coast. He's not going to last past 12. So just do it at 9 Central Standard Time. Who knows? Anyways, we're gonna still hang out. I will hang out for max. I'll hang out for max another hour if need be, but I don't know. It's just there's only so much talking that you can possibly do, because I would have loved to been able to sit and go over this lineup with you and have a little bit of a talk about what your expectations were and if this met your expectations. And also, and we've had a really good discussion about who we thought was going to be here at the celebration. So we're just going to wait for this lineup to officially get released. I would think that it's going to be somebody that we're probably not expecting. We'll see. I guess we will just continue to see. But I do want to backtrack a little bit, because a lot of folks have joined, regarding all the stuff that's going on with the estate on Twitter and whatnot, and exactly figure out, what you guys are really expecting to see from what's going on with the estate right now. I know everybody wants to see new music. we kind of briefly went over some of the things, the discovery and stuff that Vanessa Bartholomew had put out on YouTube and that Sharon had retweeted and whatnot. And if you kind of feel like there is some type of fix that's coming, do you feel like that's something that's possible? I honestly don't know. I think, so we'll put that back in the mix too, as far as discussion is concerned. But I don't remember anybody really saying anything to the effect of, hey, this would be a fix for this. I felt like my fix would have been revise the contract and make them managing members so that they have a say in what's going on, and then keep everything else the same. And that should appease a lot of folks, I would think. And that way to make sure that the actual heirs are part of the process and part of the decision process. I think that's fair. I don't think that's asking a whole bunch, but again, if you're going to be given that title, like I mentioned before, you're going to have to become actively involved. And can they do that? Do they have the time or the bandwidth to be able to become actively involved in the process? Because, as far as we can see, both Londell and Charles are very busy people as far as, keeping moving and trying to keep things rolling. And if you're going to be added to that mix, you're going to be able to keep it rolling also. I don't know. We'll see. I love the fact when you guys are talking about George Clinton and Parliament and Funkadelic being in this mix also, because there's a lot of talent in that band. And I'm not just talking about George Clinton. I'm just talking about just instrumentally, but vocal wise, when you think of all the artists and background vocalists that have gone through there, Lynn Mabry being in the mix, got so many amazing vocalists that could they could do a whole section just specifically on Prince and be able to put it out there and really just hammer it. That would be really phenomenal. Kat, all right, Hopper says Kat would be cool, but again, not a front performer. She's a very great dancer and she does a lot of rapping, but would that be enough to be able to, to appease the masses? I don't know. I don't really know much about what she's been doing recent, since, things like Love Sexy Tour. I don't know what she's been doing. At least said, I love Jesse at the celebration. He was at the celebration again. I think it was 2018, I think. And I went solo. What was really cool about that is that they actually had, different time tracks. Also, we're going to keep this discussion going, but while we're waiting for this lineup announcement. But also what I find interesting is the fact that they have different time tracks again this year, apparently, because they have the VIP Gold and the VIP, Diamonds and Pearls, and they have GA Diamonds and Pearls. And so there's going to be at least 2 tracks that we know of, potentially 4, but it's probably going to be just 2 tracks where the GA Diamond and the VIP Diamond are in the same patterns, except for VIP will probably go and do something, a little extra or whatever in certain scenarios. But what was cool when Jesse Johnson performed is that he also, before he performed, he also had, he performed for both tracks. So both tracks got to see him perform live, but for the talking part, the panel part, I went in and I actually got off track. So I was in my track and I got to see the interview with Jesse. And then when it was time for my track to leave the room, I just turned my badge around and went back in and saw Jesse again do the interview, knowing that it wouldn't be the same exact questions. I knew it would be a little bit different. And it was about 30 to 40% of it was a little bit different, but I was always obsessed with Jesse Johnson, especially back in the Jesse Johnson review days. We did Love Struck. And oh my God, his solo albums, all of them. All of them are all just great, great albums. It's just, I'm actually surprised that he has not released an album in so long. It's been 20 something years. When did Verbal Penetration come out? I don't even remember what year that was. It was so long ago, which is just unusual because it's just, I don't know. I would love to see something new from Jesse, and maybe, I don't know. Maxwell, there's a good one. That'd be something interesting. You know, some of these artists are just so big. You wonder, could they possibly do that? Would they consider doing something like that? Would it be possible? I don't know. That's something to consider. I don't know. I'm also trying to keep up with the scrolling here, because the second that this lineup gets released, I could be like 10 feet away from the bottom of this chat thread here, and somebody be saying, it's out, here it is. And I'll just be sitting here talking. So again, those of you who have my direct cell phone that I have you watching, like John Frost and Nick Garcia, Audrey, all you fine folks that are watching for me on the side, you have my cell phone, just, call or text. I've got the text up. I'm watching. So I'm trying to keep an eye on. Yeah. Angela said, D'Angelo. I am all about that too. I think D'Angelo would be a great fix for that. Also Bilal. Nobody said Bilal. Bilal would be a good addition too, because Bilal is somebody that has got the vocal chops to be able to do it and really do a lot of justice to a lot of songs. Bilal would crush it. So Bilal would be a good to have in the mix, man. I wish there was some way that we could actually have some kind of bet or some type of, I don't know, like put money down on who's possibly going to be in this, but I don't think there's a legal way to do this. So never mind. It would be great. Lenny Kravitz keeps on coming up. Lenny. Yeah. Lenny. Sounds of Blackness. That would be good. Deja mentioned Sounds of Blackness. There was, what was it? Oh, that was online. I'm sorry. I was like, Sounds of Blackness performed. There was an online thing that they did with Sounds of Blackness. That was what was that event? There was something it was an online event and Sounds of Blackness performed. And I don't remember what that event was for, but I briefly remember that. Also remember King as well. Remember the trio King? Those girls crushed it too. That would also be very, very awesome. I don't remember that one. When it said Jesse told a funny story about P not knowing how to do laundry. I'll have to go through my notes. I don't know if I remember that story or not. The one story I do remember was obviously was Jesse talking about Shockadelica, and he came up with a name, and he was going to name his album that, but he didn't create a song called Shockadelica. And Prince said, you need to have a song called Shockadelica. And Jesse was like, it's okay. I'm just going to name the album Shockadelica and I'm going to put it out. And Prince says, well, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And then then people are going to think that I had something to do with the album. And Jesse was like, I don't care, man. So Prince released Shockadelica, and certainly, surprisingly enough, Prince was right, because this was what was Shockadelica came out in 80. So I wasn't paying attention to things like that. I wasn't saying, oh, what's Shockadelica? Sure. That's and Prince has got the song called Shockadelica. I wonder how much involvement Prince had with the Shockadelica album. Nothing. But Prince knew that fans like myself, who were young enough not to actually, read the liner notes or pay attention to any of that stuff. Or even if you read the liner notes, you're like, is he hiding behind another, pseudonym like Jamie Starr or something? Who knows? Yeah. Oh, well, anyways, Jesse has a lot of stories, and some of them aren't nice. But, there's a lot of stories that are like that. There's a lot of stories where, Wendy, don't get Wendy started, because Wendy's got plenty of stories where she feels like she was slighted in a lot of different ways. And in many cases, Wendy and Lisa have a lot of bones to pick. The fact that they were really kind of responsible for fleshing out a lot of the material on the Sign of the Times album. And that they got canned right before the album came out, because it was going to be Dream Factory. It was going to be this whole Revolution album. And he just canned everybody. And not only, where a lot of their contributions were, as far as the song structure and building a lot of these ideas out that Prince would send them, when the album came out, there was no credit at all. They weren't even listed in the thank you section. It was pretty raw. Anyways, Yeah, Brian says it could be the original 6 plus Tori. Yeah, it could be. Tori's hilarious. He's been on the show a couple of times. He's always funny. What it says? Well, I'm still. Oh, Shelby just mentioned, and we'll go ahead and put this up here. Shelby, we mentioned, she is going to be performing in Houston on June 7th. And if you want to get tickets, you just go to Prince Day HOU, short for Houston, because it's going to be in Houston, Texas. That's going to be on June 7th, and it's going to be insane. If you've never seen Shelby perform, do yourself a favor. Absolutely, positively do yourself a favor, because she is fire and she puts on an amazing show. I love her to death. Every opportunity I get, I hug her neck. So it's always good to see Shelby perform live. And if you're in Houston, Texas, the day before the celebration, or you're not planning to go to celebration and you happen to be in Texas, whatever the case may be, go to the show. It's going to be fun. PrinceDayHOU.com for tickets to Shelby J and that big celebration event that they're doing there, and check it out. Yes, of course. Yeah, Joanne says Shelby is always awesome. Absolutely. 100%. Always awesome. Sonia says, I just checked Paisley Park's page for the celebration, and now all of a sudden Diamond VIP tickets are available when it was initially sold out for over a week. Yes. That, yeah, we noticed that actually. Where did we know? It was like a couple weeks ago. Didn't we call this out a couple of weeks ago that the Diamond VIP was sold out? You couldn't get it. Nobody else could get it. I think what may actually be happening is that some people are actually, because of the fact there's no lineups being divulged and some people are actually possibly returning their tickets, if that's a possible thing. I don't know if there's like, okay, look, there's only so long I can sit on this amount of money now that it's actually clearing my checking account and be okay. I don't know. They may have set aside some to reserve for some folks. That could possibly be as well. I don't know. But all that being said, as she said, as Sonia just shared again, there are some Diamond VIP tickets that are still available, which is what I'm going as. This is the first time I've gone as VIP, but I'm going as Diamond. I got all these people texting me, but they're not texting me about the thing that we all want to see. Yes. Anyways, a lot of people are sharing. I've had some people sharing about Alexander O'Neill privately saying Alexander was not in the best of health. So that being the case, this will be probably his final tour, not for any other reason, just that he's not going to be able to be capable to do it. It's kind of like a Sly and the Family Stone scenarios. Like, we would all love to see Sly and the Family Stone get out there, but Sly is not in good health at all. And so it's kind of like, we'll just, anyways. We are still, for those who are coming in here, I am so sorry. We are still sitting here waiting for the lineup announcement here at 10:18 Eastern Standard Time, when they said they were going to release a lineup on April 26th. And this is kind of a little bit of, kind of a little upsetting that they're kind of doing this right now. Just surprising. It's okay. I'm okay with it. Even if we have to sign off, which I will sign off officially at 11 o'clock, regardless of what happens. Kind of disappointing that they would do this, but we will hang out. Oh yeah. So I'm actually surprised that nobody has said this before. Lizzo, dedicated grammar to Prince and performed with Prince and is really having her moment. Yeah, Lizzo could be something that could be totally possible. The original thing that I had heard was, this is really just a matter of them being able to get everybody to sign on the dotted line and get it all worked out. And it's just, so far, it's just not happening yet. So we're just kind of just waiting and waiting and waiting. Did anybody else tune in for the 7 minutes of silence when they lit the candle on 421? Did anybody? I came in, I think it was like 10 minutes after it started, and I didn't realize it was only going to be a 7-minute thing. I just thought it was going to be a 7-minute thing. I mean, I thought it would be doing it for a while. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I don't know what I was expecting to see. It wasn't that. It was not that at all. Tanya wants to know if I can play some Shelby J music on the air right now. I don't think I can right in the moment. I can't right now, but I will, Tanya. Tanya sent me a message privately here. Still waiting. Isn't that a Prince song? I guess it is. Lenny Kravitz would be cool. Yes. Alicia Keys. There you go. Sylvia said Alicia Keys. That's one that I'm actually surprised no one has said yet. Alicia Keys is a good one. I think the diamond, and see, I obviously believe that Maite is going to be there because they're going to be focusing on diamonds and pearls, and I think that along with the 7 album, the Symbol album, I imagine there's got to be some type of panel where Maite is going to be there again. Maybe she'll bring her little doggy with her and whatever else. Oh, and I meant to mention this again, that on Mrs. Wellington's Warehouse, which is that auction house that you guys hear me talk about every now and then, they are actually going to be having, they're having an auction right now, which I can actually probably share the screen real quick, but they are having an auction for a few items that are really, really cool. They've got an extra large shirt, from an original extra large shirt from the Jam of the Year tour. Here it is right here. And also an I Hate You promo pin and an unopened, still sealed 12-inch vinyl of The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. They're doing an auction right now that is going to benefit Maite's rescue. So this is all original stuff from back in the day, and it's very, very cool. If you want to bid on it, again, all of it goes to Maite's rescue, and you can go to Funkotopia.com/Ben, Ben. That's Funkatopia.com/Ben, Ben. And you can bid on any of those things, or actually all 3 of those things as a package, and all proceeds, 100% of the proceeds go to Maite's rescue. So very, very cool. Actually, we're going to be doing something very, very similar, and I've got a massive, not for Maite's rescue. We might though. I don't know. But we've got a pretty sizable package. Not the first time I've heard that. Sorry, it's getting late. I have to say something stupid to warrant these late night things. Anyways, a sizable auction package, because I've got the Prince All the Songs book, that massive book that talks about the all the songs history of each one of the songs. Plus, on top of that, we've got some original vinyl, Funkotopia swag. We're just really, really cool stuff. And I'm also excited to tell you that if you are a Patreon supporter, most people, a lot of you are not, but if you are a Patreon supporter on patreon.com/Funkotopia, if you are a board of directors level, I actually got in, and I'm very, very happy. I've actually managed to find a place that had a box that fits perfectly the gift that I had for the board of directors that I'm going to be sending out. And I haven't been waiting. Anyways, we'll see. Craig, I shouted you out multiple times. You got to listen to the whole show. It's Craig Alexander saying, you didn't give me a shout out. Craig Alexander and Prince Day Houston doing that show. Prince Day, HOU.com. Get your tickets to that Shelby J show on June 7th. Craig Alexander's shindig. Yeah, I did shout you out. You just didn't hear me the first 2 times that I did it. Giving me grief. We have to have a talk with you, my brother. All right. Anybody looking? We're still looking. We're still waiting. Yeah, Mono Neon would be inspired. That would be great. Mono Neon would be fantastic. Thundercat would be awesome. And we're going to go down those routes. Being Samantha was saying, what about Mono Neon, Kirk, Donna, and Adrian again? I mean, that lineup would be fantastic. Yeah, Brian, I agree. Van Hunt would be fantastic. He'd be in there. He's a huge Prince fan. I don't know that he would do anything. He could definitely pull it off. He just doesn't do a whole bunch of performance stuff anymore. Which is kind of a shame. It's a shame. He's just kind of, used to having a sugar mama now, so I don't know what he's doing. Shit, Vance got my phone number. He may, I'm probably going to hear about that one. All right, let's see what else we got. So let's see. Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, I guess they're going to be waiting to do an announcement at some point in time. So we don't know exactly when that's going to be. I guess we're just going to hold out and just hope that I was hoping to be able to share with you guys the lineup announcement, but it doesn't look like that's going to be ending up happening. May have, I don't know. Let me see if something said is true. Me. More drama for your mama. That's all good. All right. Here's what we'll do. We will first thing tomorrow morning, we'll talk about it because obviously they're going to hold out until we are off the air. You think I'm kidding when I'm saying that? I guess we will find out. According to somebody was in here that said, really? Let me see here. Did I miss it? I must have missed it. I'm going to scroll up and see if I can find it. Oh yeah. Rodney's got some good suggestions here too. Bilal, Cody Chestnut, Eric Robinson, Avery Sunshine, Black Alley, One Night with Dave Chappelle. Oh my God. Stop now. Rodney, stop. That is the lineup. That's the lineup right there. Man, from your mouth to God's ears, that would be amazing. All right. So here's what we'll do. Y'all stay tuned because if it is, we will, Rodney, if that's true, people are going to explode, for sure. So what we'll do, I know there's a lot of people online and, I think somebody said there was a comment in the chat area saying that it's probably not going to happen. At least it's probably not going to happen while we are online. So that all being said, it is what everybody's got to have their own little, everybody's got to have their thing, I guess. All right. So if it pops up, I will come back on and we'll talk about it. If not, we'll talk about it tomorrow night, maybe, or tomorrow during the day. All that being said, apologies if you came for this lineup. Again, we are at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time and there still was no announcement made, and so there's a lot of people here in this mix, and I'm hoping that's probably exactly what they're doing. They're probably just sitting and waiting until this is not here so they can do it without all the pomp and circumstance, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll just talk about it tomorrow. We'll see what you guys think, and I'm glad that we were able to talk a little bit about the state stuff because there was a lot to talk about there. Probably should have waited until they came online, but I would probably stay tuned to maybe I don't know. There's got to be some other sites that are waiting in better situations than we are here on the East Coast. So give them a little bit more time. That's all there will be. I can't find that. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Sorry. I am looking at, Oh, according to DJ Dudley D, they're going to announce it when this stream is done. So if I'm the one that's holding up this announcement, then my apologies. I thought we were all playing nicely together. Thank you, DJ Judge D, for that announcement. But so we'll just tune off, and then we'll see what happens, and we will wait. And if something comes within a reasonable amount of time, maybe we'll pop back on and talk about it, or maybe it will be covered on some other broadcast. We'll check it out and see. For right now, sorry again. There's nothing. These are things that are out of my control. I thought for sure we would be able to do this in a reasonable and whatever. Some people just aren't reasonable, are they? Let me know what you guys think. I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I hope to see all of you guys at the celebration. We will talk about this a little bit more. This is I don't know what that says, other than I don't know what that says. Never mind. We'll talk. I'll come back later. Good night, everyone. You gotta be kidding me. If that's true, at least we got to hang out, right? Right. Yeah, Jude. At least we got to hang out for a little bit. Y'all stay tuned. Don't that there are no winners here. Good night. Yeah, we'll see. Give you guys a little bit of a break.